You are listening to Zen and the Art of Triathlon.
Well, hey there, all you triathlon studs and studettes, and welcome to another great episode of Zen and the Art of Triathlon. Hey, in this show, we have an interview with Saqer Al-Khalifa, and he is the man on the ground that makes the triathlons happen in Bahrain and Dubai. He's I don't know if he's the race director, but he's in charge of the triathlon program, put in charge by the Prince of Bahrain to make these races come to life, and he works with the whole Triple Crown series and bringing the races to life for us to go and participate in the view. And it's just really interesting. We cover all kinds of different stuff. The change from Challenge over to Ironman, what was behind that, and also, the Triple Crown series doesn't happen, the race in Yemen that didn't happen, and health and fitness and the problems that all countries that are developed and have some wealth seem to be having. And he's also American schooled at the Citadel, American Military Academy, at the Citadel, and also at, he's got a PhD from a California college. And then, let's see, we talk about food and turning our lives around and diabetes. We seem to talk about everything except for triathlon racing itself, because it seems the triathlon racing is what happens when you get all the rest of this stuff kind of taken care of. How to get to Bahrain, like that you can fly almost straight there from Dallas, of all things. I thought that was really interesting. And when you go over there, food, what people do, what it's like over there, how many women are in the races, just on and on and on. We had a great conversation, so I'm very excited to bring this to you. I asked him if he would come on the show, and he jumped at the chance. And so this will make for a really great listen. And let's go ahead and get started with that. And then after the interview, we'll do the training log and a little bit of news and all kinds of good stuff. All right, let's go.
Welcome to the next level.
Hello.
Hi. Hello. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good. I'm fine. How's everything?
Oh man, this is great. You want to go ahead and start recording?
Yeah, I just will put my bike in the car. I just
yeah,
it was
the life of a triathlete.
Exactly. It's you can't be triathlete without multitasking.
I know.
I think that's one thing that teaches you a lot.
My dad is a retired engineer, and I told my dad the coolest thing was learning to try to conquer all the tasks at once correctly.
Oh yeah.
And it's a lot of fun trying to engineer your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The thing is, it takes a lot of your time to training, even anything going on, and you're not training for event. You don't want everything to go to waste. Right. So you just end up trying to just what do they call it when someone is a pilot, they can't really take leave for a long time. So what they do is they stay current. That's what they say.
Yeah.
So so they don't lose their piloting license. And I think as a triathlete, once you've done like an Ironman or whatever, you just at least want to stay current.
Right. That's exactly what I do. It's the off season, but I'm trying to stay on top of fitness and not lose too much while I heal up injuries and stuff like that.
Yeah. So well, let's get started.
Yeah. Well, I'm here with Dr. Saqer Al-Khalifa. And tell me how to say it correctly, because you and I are friends over the internet, and I've never had to say your name to you. So
get it right. Yeah, it's Saqer Al-Khalifa.
Saqer?
Yeah, Saqer Al-Khalifa.
Al-Khalifa. All right, cool. And you are the race director for how many races now?
Well, I am so I overlook at Ironman 70.3 Bahrain and Ironman 70.3 Dubai.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm also the president of the Triathlon Association, which is the National Federation in Bahrain.
That's cool. Yeah. So you and I became friends over Twitter probably a year ago or more, and have been talking. And then I found out that you went to the Citadel, and I thought that was so cool because when I was a young teenager in the 80s, a movie came out called The Lords of Discipline. And I think do you know if that was set in the Citadel or not?
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah. It's all about us.
Yeah, it is such a cool movie. So the Citadel is like the equivalent of the West Point or like the Naval Academy. Is it what branch of military is it, or does it have one?
It's basically the standard is the Army manual, but it is it has Army, it has Navy, it has Air Force, it has Marines, it has all of them together. So that's the cool thing about it, is that it's not just like a Navy college or university. It's not just Air Force. It's all of them together.
Yeah. So when I was in the Corps at A&M, the outfit you were in is what they called it, was something, right? So I was in a Navy Marine outfit, but I could have been in an Army one or an Air Force one is what they did. Yeah. And we were laughing earlier about how I said Marine Military Academy was the hardest school in the world, and you thought that was the hardest. I meant the hardest college. I was like, no, it's just a high school.
Yeah, we get pretty defensive, you know, and I was like, how dare you say something like that?
Yeah. So, but I remember you said that setting up this interview that yesterday or the day before you were in Egypt, and my Marine Military Academy, we had people from all over the world at our school, and his last name was Naum, but he was from Egypt. I remember that. And just guys from all over the place. It was really cool. One of my best friends is American, but he grew up for many years in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
Oh, okay.
And his dad was a Marine, so he's in a Marine base there. And so this is really fascinating to get to talk to you about this kind of stuff. And
thanks.
So the whole thing that's going on is that, well, we've got the Triple Crown series. So I got questions about how it went down, and then Ironman, and then Challenge, and then also what's coming next year. And also, you and I are very much aligned in the idea of trying to get more people doing endurance sports for the health and fitness for your nation, you know, for my nation, for your nation, for everybody. It just makes everybody better, and trying to bring that to the people. And so you can choose which one of those you want to start with. We can start talking.
Well, I mean, let's start with what motivates all of the stuff to happen. That's a good place to start. And you know, like when you go to Ironman merchandise store, you know, one of those in the expos,
right?
The best T-shirt that I've bought from them is one that says, "It's not triathlon, it's life." Yeah. And you know, I mean, being trained to be a political scientist myself, I know scientifically, you know, because we do a lot of data and research and all that stuff, and I know when I'm biased and when I'm not biased. And I think, you know, people who are so much into triathlon, and we're trying to spread the sport of endurance sport to everyone, we're really not biased, because we believe in we really believe in what we do and what we try to promote and what life is all about. And I think that, you know, a lot of people just look at us and think that we are biased same way as a golfer or a footballer or or someone who's, just so much into their own sport or their own way of life that they think that it's the best way of life. And I think we're sort of victims of that, and we're there's a big misconception when people see us and when they hear us, and they think that we're trying to just promote it because we're similar to all of these other people who are so much into their own sport or their own sort of life, whether it's a car club or whether it's a book club or whether it's any other type of thing, and I think I think we're trying to do all of the things that we're doing, especially in this part of the world, because we want to show people that we are not biased. And once you've tried it and once you're in it, you will understand more of how important this thing is.
So is it more along the lines you want people to experience endurance sports in general? And it doesn't matter which sport, but just get out and be physically active for more than walking from your house or your apartment to the shopping center?
Well, it's if they do that, then it's good. But the thing is, we need to throw the bait first, and I think triathlon is the perfect bait to get them into it, and not just that, but I think endurance is okay. Let's say that endurance is the objective, but whether it's triathlon, because swimming, cycling, and running together, they're the three very attractive sports. But if that's the objective, then we need to strategize on how to get everyone to our objective, or to the objective of having them live a better life. And I think if we want to do a strategy, then part of that strategy is actually doing a triathlon or being a triathlete. Part of that strategy is to become a member, a National Federation member in ITU, because you have to start somewhere, and ITU is when it comes to professional sports, you graduate sort of from the ITU level to once you've done the smaller distances, you get this feeling that ITU triathletes, or those who are doing sprint and Olympic, they sort of after a while graduate to endurance. So it's a matter of how do you see what's the objective and what's the mean, what's the end, and what is the mean to the end. And that's how we see all of these things, and that's how we want to align all of this stuff. I mean, we're not just into this simply to create a tourism. We have a brand. We have different brands, whatever the brands are. We can utilize them to reach our objective, but it's not just there for the sake of just so that we can fill our hotels with or get get airline tickets or airlines to get more tickets or something like that. No, all of these people, all of these companies, they also want a piece of the pie,
right?
But for us, it's much more than that.
So, like, one thing that I feel is once I got into doing endurance sports, because I grew up as a really competitive swimmer, and so I could go really fast for a short period of time. So I thought I pretty much understood sports. But the thing when I started doing endurance sports is I discovered there was times where I would be on a run or a long bike ride, and I would say, wow, this is what the human body was actually meant to do, like something longer. And not that everybody has to do that, but it's like a whole nother facet to fitness and health is how amazing this whole undiscovered, it's like we've lost it in my mind.
See, the thing is, when I came back, first year, they call it the plebe year, or we call ourselves, at the Citadel, the knobs, where you're bald-headed, they can twist you like a doorknob and do whatever they want with you. So, the first year is your knob year. And, when I came back to Bahrain after the first year in summer vacation, the first question that they asked me was, So, I mean, what did you understand about that? I said, well, what I was really amazed about is how much my body can go through. I never thought that this is the limitations of someone, of a human being, that you are so delicate, but at the same time you can go through a lot and still make it through, and that's what really amazed me, because I never tested myself. I never tested my body. I was forced to test myself I was forced to test myself on how much I can go without food, how much I can get, beaten up or whatever, how much I can go without sleep, how much I can run, and how much I can actually hold myself while being yelled at and spit on.
Yeah.
So, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally are even more difficult than anything. So I told them, I just wish that everyone can just go to my college
Mm-hmm.
and test their bodies and see and understand that, don't be afraid. Your body is sort of created in a way that it can handle so much that you don't know about. So so but we can't really convince everyone to go through a military college, especially the American system of that first year, or for whatever,
Yeah.
the hell week, when they call it hell week, or
Yes. Boot
you know
camp.
or boot camp.
Yeah.
We can't let everyone go through that. And so then what do we do? What exactly do we do so that we can let people understand that their bodies are actually, they can give so much,
Uh-huh.
and it can handle so much, and the investment is so much, and there's so, I mean, I just feel so bad when I just see someone who says, he's 40 years old, and he says, I'm done. I can't do anything, and I'm already old, or so
Yeah.
that really, that really upsets me, because I'm like, well, technically 40, you're like at your peak.
Right.
Technically you are right now peaking, and you don't know that. And it's like, no, that's, you need like 15 years to at least be in good shape when you're 40. And I'm like, this is so sad, and it needs to change, and the culture is so bad. And what can we do? We need this thing. And I think triathlon is so attractive that you would actually, basically be a very good politician in triathlon by telling someone
Uh-huh.
to go to hell in such a way that they actually look forward to the trip.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Like when I see a horribly difficult triathlon, there's something in their little voice and said, "Oh, that looks like fun." Like the Norseman or the Swiss Extreme or the Keltman one that they've come up with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I, as you know, like I fell down and broke my arm and broke my toe, and somebody at work said, "Well, you know what this is, Brett?" I said, "What?" And he goes, "You're getting old." I was like, "You crazy?" There's a 72-year-old guy that comes and visits me at work about once a month when he pays his utility bill. He swings by my office, and he's doing Ironmans, I'm like, I'm not getting old. I mean, yes, I am getting old. I'm not in denial of it, but it's also the human body, there's so much that you can do.
Yeah, it's when we had about I think it was a month and a half. I'm not sure exactly when, but I was listening to the TRS podcast,
Uh-huh.
and I think it was in Kona when they interviewed Lou Hollander.
Mm-hmm.
And what I heard in that interview, I right after that podcast, I spoke to my communications manager, and I told her, Lou Hollander, that's the name. This guy has to be in Bahrain. Do whatever you can to get this guy here.
He's the guy that did that won the first Ironman. Is that Lou Hollander, or is that somebody else?
No, he is the 85-year-old guy who
Yeah.
who basically is he loves horses, and he did like, I don't know, 50 or whatever Ironmans, and he started at the age of 50,
right,
or something like that. And he's 85, and he is the only guy in Ironman in the 85 to 89 age category.
Yeah,
So
but there could be more if people would realize what you could do. And
yeah,
I've seen an interview with him, like a video interview, and he said somebody asked, why he does this or whatever, and he said, "Are you kidding me? The reason that I am 80 something years old is because I do this sport."
yeah. No, and this is the thing. I mean, he told us, I can't, I want to travel in this class, and I want to live here, and I want to do this. And we said, you've got it. Anything you need, just come here. So he came here, and he was such an inspiration. You don't understand. It's everyone was talking about it, and all these guys, 84-year-olds and below, I just, they didn't have any
almost
everybody, which is everyone. Yes, so I was able to show these guys. Lou Hollander is a guy that can show, everyone around the world that there are no excuses. It's just you making up excuses for, to just so that you can just stay and do nothing. Yeah. And just, once you turn 35 or 40, you just wait for your time to go away from this life. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's just absolutely ridiculous. And here's the thing. In countries like us, where, your medical bills are being handled by the government, you're actually stressing, the health sector in the country, and the healthcare system that is provided for everyone. You're actually making it worse. I mean, because the government is paying for this, for your healthcare. So if you want to be a responsible citizen in a country like ours, then you need to, at least take care of yourself, so that you won't just stress the system that can crack at any time. Be like, at any time the government can be like, forget it. It's just we have so many sick people, we can't handle it.
Right.
In order for us to protect this right that we have, we need to, we need to just do our part. And at least the least we can do is just not, sit there and get fat and smoke cigarettes, and that's it. If it was really me in my country, if it was me, what I would do is I would say, free healthcare only if you work out a certain amount of hours a week. Other than that, if you don't move your ass, you're not getting free healthcare.
Yeah, I have a similar. If I was the governor of California, which I don't live there anymore, but I got so mad being in California and the freeways being clogged up with people going nowhere, when California has all this beautiful, ocean and mountains and stuff.
Yeah.
And I said, if you get pulled over by the cops for, like a turn signal being broken or speeding or something like that.
Yeah.
So if you get pulled over by the cops for that, and you can't produce a receipt for having gone to one of the state parks in the past 6 months, you're deported. Because you can live your life the way you're living that right now in Kansas. So get out of here, because you're clogging up the freeways. I know it's like this totalitarian like way of viewing it. But I agree with you. I think also your mindset of I think you probably learned it from your family too, and like I learned it from mine, like this upbringing of, don't be a drag on other people if you don't have to. And you learn that in the military colleges, right? So you're all a unit, and everybody has to wait on the slowest guy. So exactly. Don't be the slowest guy if you can help it. But there's always exceptions, right? There's people that have genuine problems and they need real help. But
the exceptions are exceptions. That you can't. Nobody can do anything about them. But it's just that the majority. We're not talking about anomalies, but the majority of the people, those who are actually able to do something, and those who are able to take care of themselves. Here's the thing: the guys, when you look at statistics, the people that exhaust the free healthcare system are the ones who they do it at the last month before they die. they spend most of the money on them. The government spends most of the money on healthcare on these guys at the last month. And here's the thing, they all of this, even if they don't get sick, they will get sick in a sudden,
Right.
because it happens all of a sudden, and so it's a matter of people are in denial. They think that their body takes care of them when they're 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever, but their body is guaranteed one day that it will be like, I've had enough,
Right.
and I'm not going to take care of you anymore, and it's time for you to get moving and do something about it. But it's already too late when you're at that stage, because you need medications when you reach that level. So why don't you just prevent yourself from getting medications? Because that medication is very, very expensive.
Right.
And we spend, for example, in our country, probably not less than $1 million for every person who is addicted to drugs.
Wow.
Annually. And that's a lot of money, because of rehab, because of medications, because of all the payment to doctors and nurses and everyone that takes care of this person. Why go into that kind of lifestyle and stress the budget so much? If I get the budget of one guy who is in rehab, and I'll be able to do another triathlon, and or I'll be able to build a facility or a swimming pool, or another track or something like that. So it's all related, and it's all coming out from, even though the Ministry of Health or whatever is paying, but it's, at the end of the day, it's one pocket, which is one government, that's paying for all this stuff. All these people can just stop being sick.
I totally agree. The cost of somebody being chronically sick, or like a drug problem or being unproductive, is just amazing compared to somebody. I remember my great grandmother was fine until she died at age 83 or something. She just had a bad week, and then that was it. And but that's the way that we could be.
Yeah, exactly. And I think one of the things that really motivates me is because of myself and what I did myself. When I went to California in 2005 to begin my PhD in Claremont, I stopped working out, and I was stressing myself so much into my studies that in 2008 I got diabetes.
Right.
In 2008, and it's because I was the person responsible for myself, and I got this for myself. I didn't have the proper education. I wasn't told. When I got diabetes, I had no idea. I was 28, and I had no idea, absolutely no idea, what calories were. Right. And I had no idea nothing. I did not know all of the stuff, and I was like, okay, I do hold myself responsible for not knowing, but I could have been helped by someone telling me, or getting into this environment of understanding and learning about all this stuff. I wasn't in that environment because I'm, I was living in America, but it's the same thing here back in Bahrain, that we don't have this environment that teaches us and about awareness, or about just getting a bit active. Just a little bit, just so that you can prevent yourself from getting sick.
Yeah, I saw on the internet, on Reddit, a thread where people were asking what should be taught in high school that isn't. And I commented that how to continue being fit as an adult and being healthy as an adult should be a class, your last few years in high school as you graduate in the United States. I don't know about other countries. And it would be how to sign, what events are out there to do, how to sign up for one, what it's like joining an adult, a grown-up, fitness class, what gyms cost, and kind of like what calories are, or what kind of foods you should be eating after you leave school, because I think high school is the last contact of education, of structured education the government has with the majority. With Americans, and it's like No, you're graduated, and we've taught you economics and basketball. But
Yeah.
but you've been saturated with Gatorade and basketball, by the way. So then now you're out there in the free world, and then people turn into grown-ups, and they think it's a party, right? They don't know what's going to happen to them eventually. Hey, this was fascinating about your story about developing diabetes. So what were you? Do you remember like what you were eating, and you weren't exercising. So what were you eating?
Yeah.
Pretty typical.
What I remember that was I was just so busy studying for my qualification exams to do my dissertation, and I had no time to think about what I'm eating. So
Right.
there was this place over there called Pickup Sticks, and all I was doing was just ordering from this place, and it was just a lot of rice I mean, and sugar, and there was Cheesecake Factory, and it was all the bad stuff, basically. But here's the thing. I mean, when you talk about schools and how do you convince them? I remember the absolute first day before Hell Week began when I was at the Citadel. The guys came to us, and he's like, according to statistics, and we were like a company of 40 cadets, and they were like, according to our statistics, 50%, they were like 10% of you or something like that are tomorrow are gonna drop out. Another 25% will not finish the year, and by graduation day, 50% of you are not going to graduate. And that's according to, and we were like so scared, looking around like, shoot, it means that I have a 50% chance of not making it here.
Yeah.
And they had like really, a lot of nice, statistics for them to talk about.
Right.
And here's the thing, what I will do in schools, and this is what I'm actually working on. It's not just that it's not wishful thinking, but it's actually a project that we're working on, is that I'm going to tell these kids, be like, listen, this percentage of you are going to be diabetic by the age of, so and so.
Right.
This percent are going to be addicted to some kind of drug, and this percent are actually going to die in a car accident. And this, so I will tell them exactly what needs to be told so that they would prevent themselves from doing stuff like that. And it actually works.
It does.
If you want to, it actually works when you tell them that, by the way, guys, we don't know who it is, but some of you are going to go through this according to statistics, because math does not lie.
Right.
And
we had the same thing at A&M where they said, this was just to the regular student body. They said, look to your left and look to your right. We were in a big auditorium. One of those people to your left or to your right is not going to be here by the end of the year. And you're like, whoa, holy crap. And that's a really good way to say it, And then also I had bad grades my freshman year at A&M. And at the end of the year, I had to go in and see the dean. And he said, well, according to statistics, you have a high SAT score, which means I'm not dumb. And then, but I had low grades in high school graduating. And that ratio, he said, means that you're smart, but you're too smart for your own good, and you're kind of lazy. And you have less than a 1% chance of graduating from Texas A&M.
Wow.
And he said that they showed me a graph, of SAT and then the low grades in high school. And that just infuriated me. And when I finished my master's degree at A&M, I went back and told them that that's what did it. It just made me so mad that I was going to be a statistic, and I wasn't going to be a statistic.
Exactly. And you get committed to actually, beating that statistic, and then the statistic, works. There are so many statistics, and here's the thing, there's a statistic that actually says that if you want to apply to a university, to go to a university, and it's very, very difficult, you have very high probability of entering if you apply very, very late, because they begin with the application very strict, and by the time they reach their last applications, they're already tired of reviewing everything,
Uh-huh.
and you increase your chances more than double fold if you
Oh,
apply late
that's how
to
I could have gotten into
universities.
Colorado College. I could be in the Rockies now. They turned me
but
down.
yeah, but here's the thing,
Yeah.
we human beings, we actually do react according to there is a number in our mass. There is a general
Uh-huh.
way of acting. We act similarly wherever we are,
Right.
and if you are able to sort of pick up a trend, you'll be able to understand exactly the behavior of human beings in general. I'm not talking about the anomalies. You'd always get those smart asses, at the on the that would always want to do things differently. But
Right.
when you're doing it, in a mass, 90% of the behavior is actually you can actually pick it up. So if we're smart enough to know that you can actually create a change in 90% of the population, then what you do is just focus on the factors that actually cause that change, and you can change it to what you like. I mean, there are a lot of bad people out there, in politics or in government or whatever it is, that they control the media, they control marketing, or they control a product of necessity, and they're able to actually profit with money out of the general population, who are able to just be so blinded by by this thing of buy here, buy this, pay this, go to this movie, whatever it is, or eat this, or go party here, and then people will fall into most of the people always fall into the hands of those bad people. So we can use their tricks, but actually do something good about it.
Oh yeah, yeah. My son's actually too smart for. He's wised up too much. He yells at the commercials on the TV. He's only 11, and he'll yell, "That's not true," or "Quit trying to sell me drugs on to the TV." Because I make those comments, and he's picked up on what I.
It has to happen, and I think there is a sort of a general sort of perception that is changing, because now conventional media, conventional way of sending messages through to people and to making them in debt and making them sick or making them whatever, it's losing grip, because now you have the ability to actually do more interactions with people, and anyone can send their messages through. And what we're doing right now, both you and I, we're actually countering all of that conventional way of sending messages, and we're actually educating everyone and telling them, listen, be aware, look at exactly where you step before you step there, because you can actually decide where you want to go. You can actually decide what you want to buy. You don't have to buy everything. You don't have to eat everything.
All right, let's take a short break from this awesome interview to talk about Amrita bars. AMRITA, Amrita, which is nectar of the gods. That's what that means. And they are date-based bars that are super duper healthy, and I absolutely love them. And you can get them at a discount by going to amritahealthfoods.com and using discount code ZEN2016. They've been a long-time sponsor of ZenTri, and I absolutely adore eating these energy bars. They're incredible. They're super smooth on the stomach, give you fast-acting and long-lasting energy because they're date-based, and then they have seeds and all kinds of, they have cardamom mixed in, which is actually kind of soothing on the stomach. It's really, really nice. And one thing you should know, in these winter months when it gets really cold and your food might freeze on you out there, these won't. They are actually made so they won't freeze, unlike some grain-based bars. So I'm a big fan of these. They also have super cool kits and gear that you can go check out at amritahealthfoods.com. So don't forget, support your ZenTri sponsors, people that love ZenTri. They make this show come to life. And one of them is Amrita Bars, AMRITA, Amrita Bars, and they're amritahealthfoods.com. And you can get a discount with discount code ZEN2016. 2016, Zen 2016. Go check them out. Just cruise around the page. Read the ingredients, man. All the different flavors and stuff. They're super cool. All right, let's go ahead and get back to our interview. Here we go. Right. I totally agree. There's now in 2015, 2016, we can kind of see where this path of believing in all the marketing and stuff that's been given to us over the past, like, say, 30, 40 years, like the mass production of food and just like I was saying earlier, like party all the time. Every day seems to be like a birthday with junk food and no exercise. And then now look at us, right? Yeah. And now with the prevalence of the internet and of individuals and these techniques that we're it's kind of like we've woken up and saying, oh, whoa. And then now there's people stepping forward that are saying, no, you can live like this, and this is how I did it. And those people are accessible now. Yeah. And you can see them and you can meet them, and they have a media presence where they can say, this is what I do, and this is how I got to where I'm at. And this is how I reversed my situation, and I'm better off than I used to be before. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is I think is now that we know the tools, and we know we have the tools, and now that we know that there is an issue going on worldwide, we all have to play our roles. I mean, we can't just go to just wait there and say like, yeah, I know there's a problem, so I'm just waiting for someone to come over and just fix the problem, or let me just call the government and tell them, hey, there's a problem, do something. I think what we're doing, people like us, we're like, I'm gonna play my own role. I'm gonna be the small piece in the puzzle, or I'm gonna be the small piece of a bigger answer, and try to do my part of being a responsible global citizen. I'm not talking about a responsible national citizen. We can't even, it's not even right for us to put borders and say, well, that's where I'm going to operate and that's it. It's just us being responsible globally and trying to begin wherever it is, begin this movement, if we want to call it that, of just correcting everything and informing people that you have legs. These legs, there was one day in the past, your ancestor was using them for something, and now you have them and you don't even know how to use them. Right. So and there are so many. I mean, if you go to historical books, you'd see that we are machines. We're created like machines to operate. If you actually line up all the living things, all the animals, lions, elephants, giraffes, human beings, whatever, line them up, we're one of the most efficient creatures out there. Right. We can go further, more than probably anyone else. Maybe only few animals can pass us. The way we hunted long time ago was we follow animals until they're tired, and then we catch them.
I know.
And
so that was our advantage. Is we could cool ourselves better than they could, and we could carry water, and we would just outwalk them and outrun them until they collapsed.
Yeah, until they collapsed.
Have you seen that video of the persistence hunting? I love that video in the Kalahari Desert. Have you seen that?
I haven't actually, but now that you said it,
to you. It's amazing. Yeah. They run down a kudu, which is like a big deer. For people listening, go look it up. Kudu. And on purpose, they pick out the biggest one. And you would think, why would they pick the biggest one? Well, the biggest one has the biggest body mass and the biggest rack of antlers. It's like two horns, really, and it's just the sheer weight and the size of it. And they start hunting early or middle of the day, and this has been going on for thousands of years, right? Yeah. And they just jog and jog and jog, and they run about a marathon. Is about how far they run, and the thing just eventually collapses under its own weight and heat, and they walk up to it and kill it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, they don't let it rest in the shade, and so we're using our smarts to outwit it and not let it rest. and not let it cool down, but then also using our endurance to just keep it moving until it overheats. And it's amazing. It's the coolest thing. So yeah, we're naturally endurance athletes. You don't have to do much to become a great endurance athlete. You already born being human is got 99% of it covered.
Yeah, and I think I'm not sure exactly when. I think in 2003, I went around a trip in Italy, in like Milan and Venice and Rome and things like that, and I started seeing all those sculptures of people like really long time ago, and they're all like they got nice bodies and nice abs, and they're really ripped, and I'm like, I don't think there was a gold gym back then.
No. It was called building a stone fence is what you needed to do today.
Yeah, I mean, were they like really, like laying down on a bench and, bench pressing rocks and then doing the shoulder rock pressing and then, I don't think so. I think, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that it's because the lifestyle, these guys look like that.
Right. There's no fast food back then either.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then you fast forward to today, and you go to this movie called WALL-E. Have you seen WALL-E?
Oh yeah.
You see these really, like there was like this clip of these really fat kids or guy. I don't know what they were, but they had like a screen in front of them, and they don't need to move,
right?
And they can do everything.
So fat they can't walk.
They can't walk, and then but here's the thing. That's not funny because that's where we're going.
Yeah. I
mean, today there's this machine that I really, really hate, which is, they call it the hoverboard, but it doesn't hover.
Oh yeah.
Where you just stand there.
Oh, and you lean forward and it moves you.
And you lean. Yeah. Oh my God, this thing just ticks me off, and I just really hate it.
You and I are so alike on that. It's just like that's the things those are the exact same things I get angry at. Why are they selling millions of those and not like building a bicycle highway? They built a bicycle highway in Germany. Did you see that?
Yeah, I mean, that's just. I mean, this thing is. So one guy tried to talk to me about it, because my son was really crying and he wanted one, and I'm like, listen, what's the cost? He's like, well, that's the cost. I'm like, I'm going to a bike shop and I'm buying you a bike that's 3 times this cost. And he's like, you are? I'm like, yeah, now. So I went and I bought him like a very expensive Scott, a very 2016 edition, whatever. I'm like, I'm willing to pay 3 times as much for you to get a bike and a helmet and gloves and some cycling clothes than to actually buy you that thing, because you need to understand that toys are supposed to make you better, not worse. Right. And then I bought my daughters as well, and helmets and all, and now I love it because I can see them outside my house with their bikes, with their helmets, and they're so much enjoying it. If I bought that thing for them, they'd use it for like a week or so and then throw it, or maybe it's gonna just blow up by itself like it's doing around the world.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I saw that too.
Yeah, so the thing is, I saw WALL-E. I'm very happy. I mean, very glad that I actually saw WALL-E, the movie, and I saw those fat kids, because this machine is actually, taking us one step towards that reality in the movie, and I don't want that, because, I mean, what's happening over there is nothing. You're just standing on something, and you're not. You're not burning calories, and if every kid has a step counter, they're not getting any steps out of that.
Right, exactly. Yeah, somebody tried to give us an electric scooter just the other day for Christmas, and I said no, we're not taking it. Why not? I said because he's already got 2 scooters that are normal scooters, and he needs to be riding those, and not one that's self-propelled. We have a real problem here in the United States with people buying their kids these electric little cars, like little Barbie cars and little Tonka cars that you can sit in, and people try to push them on you. You should get one, and we see them all. If you live in an affluent neighborhood, you see them all over the place. And so somebody will have had gone through 2 or 3 of those as a kid growing up nowadays, but still not know how to ride a bicycle.
That's very sad.
Yeah, and it's just like, no way.
That's the thing, it's we're young,
Yeah.
but we are think we're the generation that have seen this big shift because we grew up like late 70s and early 80s, and we had our bicycles, and we didn't have all the stuff, and and we've seen what it did, because it really made us connect with each other, made us socialize, it made us and nowadays it's just ridiculous, and especially in this part of the world where we have oil, and sometimes oil is not good because there's this thing called the oil curse. I'm not sure if you heard about it, but it's similar to someone who's just wealthy, and they actually use money to become lazier,
Right.
instead of using it to do something else. And so you have money, and what you do is you just you have your own guy who drives your car. You don't need to drive. You have you don't need to go out and buy groceries. You have someone that goes and buys your groceries for you. You don't need to drive your kids to school. So you have someone that would actually go and drive your kids to school, and that's it. So everything that you do as part of a head of a family, you have someone else that does it for you, and that's the oil curse. That's when you lose your connection with people, you lose your relationships with your kids, with your family, and you just get so busy into doing something else that you actually don't have time for yourself to go and for a jog, or go cycle with someone that you with some friends, or whatever. We don't know how to spend money, us human beings. We don't know how to do that. And
Well,
we're
so wired primitively, because for thousands of years there wasn't any kind of luxury, and so when you come across it, it's gonna go away really quickly. So we're wired to enjoy it to the extreme, but for brief periods of time is how often good circumstances should come around like that, where you can afford to be lazy, and but we've engineered, for example, using oil and other resources, we've engineered our world to be luxury all the time, and then you kind of get out of it. Nowadays it's work. You have to work harder to not live in luxury. Like for me to bike to work is actually way more difficult than it is to drive to work.
As in, see, these are all the things that are in, that we now understand, and I've spoken to them personally, to decision makers in this part of the world, and they agree with all that stuff, and so what we're doing is just understanding that, okay, we agree there's an issue. Now what do we do? Well, we want to make it fun for people to actually get moving and to do something, and to get into something that is of an advantage and a benefit for them. So how do we imagine if imagine if you have a jar of Nutella in front of you, and it's actually good for you to eat Nutella. I mean, that's a really, a dream come true, when, you can actually go and have a Coke, or, drink whatever you want, and actually all of that stuff is actually good for you. And that's not impossible. That's doable, because we can actually make it fun. We can make it fun for people to, if we put our, heads together, and we invest in the right thing, in the right way, we will be able to make it fun. And I think Ironman that's why a lot of people actually, you suffer in an Ironman, it's crazy. I mean, you for hours, half an Ironman, 6 hours or whatever of pain, but you actually enjoy it, or 12 hours, but you actually enjoy it, or doing doing an Iron, something crazy like you did for 3 days, which is, but you actually enjoy it. You actually, a couple of days later, you find out that you remind yourself that you actually did it, and you get this high. You don't need to go and smoke weed.
Yeah.
You can just pass the finish line of an Ironman. You will get the same feeling.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
but it's actually going to last longer because you can remind yourself every time, and you can look at your medal, and you can look at your T-shirt and your photo, finisher pics, whatever it is, but you will be able to maintain this high of satisfaction for a longer period of time if you do the right thing. So I think, bringing Ironman to this part of the world and us promoting triathlon is a strategy itself to do something instead of just not do something. I mean, we are misunderstood globally. We have issues in this country. We had issues, I'd have to say. Some media reporting was good. Some media reporting was bad. Some tainted us with something. I mean, it's a perception of what the Arab world is, especially these days with, all the politicians trying to, get more, what do you call it? Like, more people to vote for them. So they would just try to, convince them that they're the people, whatever. So, who do they target? And unfortunately, this time of year, this period of time is us. So, it's we understand that that's going on, but at the same time, we want to focus, and this is where we're very true to ourselves, and we believe that, this is how we try to do our part, and this is how we're actually responsible to do something instead of just sitting back and doing nothing.
Right. An interesting thing is people around the world are so much alike that if you could speak the same language and you sat down with people on the other side of the world in Middle East or China or Peru or Russia or wherever, how much you have in common is unbelievable, and so much of what you're taught of how different somebody is, and how other people are wrong and don't be like them or whatever, is actually made up, like you were saying, for political reasons, to raise funds for something, or to protect our borders or something. And people are so much alike wherever you go, and it's crazy how divisive some people try to make us. And I was so honored that you asked me if I could come to Bahrain for the race earlier this year. I was telling everybody that would listen that I'm going to go to Bahrain. Like, this is so cool. People couldn't believe it. They're like, "You're going to where?" I said, "I'm going to Bahrain to be in this race." And I was so excited. I felt so bad after I did the Ultraman. The Ultra Baby I did. My plantar fasciitis in my foot was so bad. I think I'm positive I have one of those tears that creates a bone spur in my left heel, and I'm waiting for that to go away. I tried to kind of keep, like we were talking earlier, tried to keep running on it a little bit to see if it would go away just by decreasing the intensity, and it didn't. And then now I finally just broke my toe, and now I'm not running at all, so that I can. And I'm like, wow, this is what I should have done a long time ago, is just not run at all and heal up. So I was honored to be invited. My dad, before I was born, my dad went to Europe and then hitchhiked back in the 60s and 70s. I'm not sure what years it was exactly. He hitchhiked all the way from England over to Israel, and I think into Saudi Arabia even, and then back again over a period of about a year and a half or 2 years.
Wow.
And came back with all this cool stuff. And so I grew up with stories of what it was like on the other side of the world. And so when I had an opportunity to go, I was like, oh, I get to do what my dad did. I get to go to the Middle East, And so I'm still totally up for it and super excited. And I've got questions about the culture over there. What is the biggest sport in Bahrain and Dubai and
well,
countries like that?
It's football, or I guess
Soccer?
you guys. Soccer, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's that's like the biggest thing going on, and then it's just the normal, it's like football, and then it's just like basketball, volleyball, and handball.
Uh-huh.
So and yeah, and pretty much that's but football is basically the number one sport, and but it's a bit changing and that globally the volleyball is the sport that most people around the world play. So it's
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
yeah. So but here it's it's football basically.
Uh-huh.
That's or soccer. I mean, that's that's the sport. And but you're welcome. And the invitation is extended to 2016. So
thank you.
hope to see.
But tell me about okay. So we had Danielle Reef win the Triple Crown. She managed to pull it off, win all 3 of those races in the series.
Yeah.
And then the what's the next race that's up? Is it Dubai that's coming?
Yeah. So it's basically it's going to be in January 29, the Ironman 70.3 Dubai.
Right.
We haven't. I don't think that. I mean, we haven't really chosen the second race, but most likely it's going to be the 70.3 Worlds in Australia.
Okay.
And then the finale again would be the 70.3 here in Bahrain. So it's going to be just all Ironman.
Yeah. Before Yemen had the problem where they had to pull the race out of there, I saw pictures of where the race course might be. And,
okay. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that looked beautiful. That was like some rugged terrain too, isn't it? Like
in Salalah in Oman. Here's the thing. Now we are in the Arabian Peninsula. Basically, the Arabian Peninsula is Saudi Arabia, and then the majority of it, and then there's UAE, United Arab Emirates, Oman, Yemen. So and then where the smaller countries are Bahrain and Qatar and Kuwait and and a little bit of Iraq. So this is the Arabian Peninsula. Now in the Arabian Peninsula, we're basically just desert and just maybe a little bit here and there some palm trees and things scattered, but in general we're desert.
Right.
Now in Salalah, just that part of the world, just that it in the summertime, the monsoon season that goes by in Asia, it actually passes by Salalah, just Salalah itself, every year in August. And so in the Arabian Peninsula, just that city over there is and the surrounding ones, the ones after it, they have a very different weather. So they have the trees there, the palm trees are, they look like the ones in Asia. So they have like coconut and and bananas and stuff like that, and it's very it is out of this world. It's unbelievable. And and it's cooler over there, and it's moisty, and it's just amazing. It's out of this world, really unbelievable. So what we wanted to do is actually have, and it's mountainous. What we wanted to do is actually do something over there, and that it's like really
tell people what is over there. Yeah,
it's like heaven on earth. Salalah, so beautiful, untouched, and people are so nice. But I mean, we couldn't really pull it off. But so it's not in our hands. And at the same time, we had we couldn't continue in a way with challenge. And I left challenge, and I decided to go with Ironman and bring them over here. So and that's how it ended up.
Yeah, I was talking to Ben Hobbs from TRS Radio about that. Yeah. Oh gosh, almost a year ago, and I said, I told him that your angle, of course, challenge and Ironman are important, but from what I learned from you talking with you was that it's even bigger than that. The whole health issue for the whole country is one step above actually who's the promoting the race. It's important, but that's a means to an end of better health and fitness for the whole country.
Yeah, yeah. It's see, the thing is, in order for me to reach our objective, I would have to say all of us to reach our objective. We want to reach it easier. We want to get to our objective using an easier route. So Ironman provides an easier route to the objective than Challenge, and because they're a bigger brand, and because it's much easier to fund an Ironman race than Challenge. Ironman is a race that, even though it's a bigger brand, but it's cheaper to organize an Ironman than Challenge.
Oh, it is? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it is because you get a lot of companies want to be associated with it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And you get much easier. It's much easier to get sponsors because more people are participating. So that means that you get more income out of the registration.
Wow.
So more people register, more people pay you.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So not just that, but it's when you go to a company and be like, "Hi, there's an Ironman. We want you to pay us," and then it's different when you go and you say, any other brand, because Ironman is Ironman, and that's how it is. It's you get more people and more people pay attention to it. The brand is just so big that the M.Dot is just, people know it easier. Right. So I think, last year when we had Challenge over here, people finished and be like, I just did a half Ironman. And we're like, well, but that's the reality, is that Challenge have a challenge in front of them. And, and it's actually, it has to do with them. It's not with people. It has to do with their brand.
Right. Yeah.
They need to find a way, because I don't think that the name itself is a good. They're in competition with Ironman, so an Ironman has few things of an advantage, and they need to see how they can actually go through that advantage. Because nowadays, people that finish Challenge, they'd say that I've done. Okay, let's say they did an Ironman and a Challenge. They would say that I've done 2 Ironmans. They wouldn't say that I've done a Challenge and an Ironman. So I think it's going to be very difficult for them. They need. If I was in Challenge, I would do a complete rebranding.
Yeah, I thought about that too with the branding. You need to brand your. You need to brand if you're an event race. Your brand needs to be something that is a result where the name of the event is also a thing, and then that way you can say you're that thing. So you could say like the Spartan Warrior race series, right? So you can say I am a Spartan Warrior. I did the Spartan Warrior thing.
Yeah,
like the name itself has the event kind of built into it, and then that leads to people talking about it differently in a way that they can identify with it. So you'd say, a platinum, not platinum man. You would take man out of it. Something like, where it's a thing when you're done. I got a question for you. Tell me, so people going to Bahrain and, for example, Dubai. I've been wanting to ask you this. I tried as I was getting prepared to come over to Bahrain for the race. I tried learning Arabic, and that lasted about 5 minutes because it's such a different language, And then, but what I find cultures like so fascinating. If somebody's coming over to Bahrain or Dubai to do the races, what are some things that Westerners need to know to do and to not do, and like what might they see that might like they go, oh my gosh, what's that, and then not know what's going on? Like, what are some tips like to get people curious about coming over?
Yeah, well, one thing is that what this part of the world has very different than America, is that in America most of the people over there are Americans. Over here, for example, in Bahrain, 50% of the population, 50% are not Bahrainis.
Oh, that's worse than like Florida or California, where nobody's from there.
Yeah, and in the UAE, in Emirates, in Dubai, only 19% of the population are actually citizens. We have 135 nationalities living in this country. Dubai has maybe even more, just a little bit more. And through years and years, we've been a stopover for people from Europe to go to Asia, and from people from Asia to go to Europe, and very, very internationalized. So already everyone in both countries, is used to all the system, all the institutions, they're all used to people coming over and speaking in English, and everyone speaks two languages here in Bahrain. Almost the people in Bahrain speak two languages at least.
Wow.
So, Arabic and English is the norm. Everyone speaks English. Almost everyone speaks English. So you really have to work very hard to find someone that doesn't speak English in this part of the world. So, it's very easy. It wouldn't be a problem at all. But they don't need to learn a new language. It's not like going to Asia or where it's going to be very difficult, and people are going to be they're going to have issues speaking in English. Over here, it's just straightforward, and almost every sign we have on the road, maybe all the signs actually, are actually in two languages, in English and in Arabic.
Okay.
So it's not really a very big issue. We actually also, currency wise, if you go to Starbucks, for example, over here, you can actually choose if you want to pay with Bahraini dinars or dollars, because because we have a lot of Americans living in Bahrain, because the 5th U.S. Fifth Fleet and an Air Force base but the 5th Fleet is here in Bahrain.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's been here since the 80s, and it's a very big base, and they're just expanding. And I was fortunate enough to to have a lot of my classmates visit me during the Iraq War, and when they stop over here, and I'd be able to go out, take them out at night, and before they get to go to Kuwait or to Iraq or whatever, or to Afghanistan. And it's very internationalized, and especially for Americans or British coming over, they wouldn't feel at all. That they're right now. It's like the holidays, and a lot of families, my friends who are Americans and British who I ride the bike with, they don't take a vacation holiday and go to UK. They're actually their parents or their family
come visit them.
Come visit them, because
that's like when we lived in San Diego. We didn't go anywhere. People came to us.
yeah, exactly. It's really because people want to have an excuse to leave and go to San Diego, for example.
Right. Yeah.
And the good thing about Bahrain is that you can ride your bike through the whole year. So
tell me a little bit about that. Okay, so let's say like this time of year, it's winter-ish for you. I guess it's kind of like Texas. Like we have sort of a winter, but the depends. Texas is so huge. It's like, what part of Texas are you in? But so we started off the show. You were talking about packing up your bike. So do you? This time of year, can you ride all day out in the heat and it's fine, or what's the temperature like all day?
Well, it's right now in my car it says 60 right now.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
So I'm not at home actually. So I just stepped into my car right outside the bike shop, and so I can see the temperature. And today is a warmish day. It's not really very, very cold. So I was out without a jacket on a bike, just a normal bike outfit. With half, fingers, whatever you call them, gloves.
Yeah, right.
And that's it. Yeah, but it gets hot in the summertime, but you can still cycle at night or really early in the morning.
Right.
But you just need to pack, more water bottles.
Right.
But literally, you can go out through the whole year and cycle or run, and maybe swimming. You just need a wetsuit during in the winter when you want to swim in the sea. But
Right.
but it's a perfect place to train. The only thing is that we don't have altitude,
Right.
and but we are building facilities. Sometimes in the future, we're trying to build a 400-meter track that is actually altitude climate controlled.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Well, this sounds a lot like where I live, where in the winter it's actually great training climate. We have some
yeah.
bad days, but the summer is where you have to really watch out in the middle of the day to late afternoon. You do
Yeah.
not want to go outside.
Yeah.
But then
No,
once it turns night or it's early in the morning, it's actually not that bad.
yeah. It's actually very simple, very similar. Sorry,
Yeah.
to Texas. I spent a couple of months in the summertime in Texas,
Mhm.
in Austin once,
Oh yeah, yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and my friends went to a school there called St. Edward's
Hmm.
in Austin.
Yeah.
And I remembered in the summertime how hot it was. It's a little bit warmer than that over here in Bahrain, and right, like for 1 month, it's like a bit very warm. But that you don't ride it during that time. You ride really late at night or very early in the morning.
Right.
So yeah, it should be. I mean, it is fine. The weather is really good, and it's. But having an Ironman over here, half Ironman, we have to do it in December. I think is a perfect
Yeah.
time of year.
So if people are flying in, what airport? Like, say you're coming from the East Coast of the United States, from like New York City. I guess if you're
Yeah,
flying out of there, when I was looking at flights, I think maybe it had a flight going through Turkey or something, or I'm trying to remember now. But like,
yeah.
what's a typical airport to go through?
Well, see, if you're really, really low on budget, then there are, like,
Get a boat.
flights that yeah, but you just have to go out a
To
month and a
swim it.
half before. Yeah. But it's actually Dubai and Abu Dhabi. They have the Emirates
Hmm.
and Doha and Qatar. So the Qatar Airways or the Emirates or Etihad, those three airlines,
Hmm.
they go everywhere. They literally go everywhere. So Dallas, there's one direct flight to Dubai, or
Are you
New
kidding
York.
me? Really?
Yeah. There's
So I could just
to
drive
to
over to
to
Dallas
Qatar.
and then fly to Dubai? I've
I
got a
thought either to
passport.
Dubai or to Doha
Yeah.
or to Abu Dhabi. But to
Oh,
Dubai, yeah, it's just one flight, and then there's just this 50-minute flight to Bahrain. So we had issues with our national carrier, it's called Gulf Air,
hmm.
but our Gulf Air goes to London right now and a little bit of Asia.
Uh-huh.
So you can either go to London and then directly to Bahrain, or you can just take a very long, exciting, one plane all the way to Dubai, and then or to do a Dubai. Mostly the Emirates is very big. It's a very big airline. It's one of actually the best top five airlines around the world. The three of them are actually those that I spoke to you about, which is Qatar Airways, Etihad, and the Emirates.
Right.
They fly everywhere, and so it's just, yeah, you just drive to Dallas, I think. Yeah, I think it's Dallas, and then just directly to Dubai, and
And
from Dubai to Bahrain.
and then once over there, what's uh, a must eat food to have?
Well, unfortunately, this is where I don't. This is where I'm against, because all this food that you must eat is very bad for you.
But what about like
Um,
different? Like I love hummus, for example. But would you have like
yeah.
some kind of exotic flavors of hummus that we wouldn't have
Oh
over
yeah.
here that
Yeah. We have
blow our mind?
yeah. We do have. I
Yeah.
mean, see I've eaten hummus in I will call it hummus
Uh-huh.
in America and many places, but they are really not that good of a quality to what we have over here. So the hummus you will eat over here, they will be very good. That's what people try to tell me about the grits. I That's one thing that I absolutely hate,
Uh-huh.
and they're trying to convince me that it's only at the military college that it's very bad, but I was like, I'm not even going to try it everywhere I go around the world. Whenever there's grits, you will not find me.
No.
And but hummus, it's good. The kebabs over here are good.
Oh,
biryani, all the sort of the smoothies, natural, fruits, all the stuff. We have really good food. This part of the world, that's what makes us sick, is because we have really good food.
Right.
That's the thing. We have, all the spices that are off of, from this part of the world, from India. We, you don't have a lot of spices in America.
Right.
But here they are so creative in spices and in pickles that they mix them with those kind of food, and it's out of this world. And I mean, when you're here, I'm only going to take you once to go and eat this type of food, because it's really
blow my mind.
It's not really, I think this is where I'm against. This is where I'm really against, because I think that, it's very easy to get this type of food, very easy, and I think we have to really think about food as a fuel. So I don't mind. Well, I mean, really don't mind that we eat something like that, but think about the calories, and then think about what you do to get those calories out. Because if you go to sleep and you've consumed more calories than you've actually burnt, then that's not a good day.
Right.
And I think the good food is really packed with calories. With the spices and the rice and all this, oil and everything, and that doesn't work for us. I know that a lot of people from this part of the world, they will hear, because I'm going to send this podcast to everyone that I know about, and they will hear this and they will be like, oh my God, I can't believe you just dissed our dishes and stuff like that. You're going to make all the ladies mad, and but yeah, I'm owning it, and I'm telling them you're wrong, because this food is wrong. It's something that we need to change. We need to just, do something.
What are some healthier food options over there that are native to your area that people could own better?
Well, salads. We can invest in salads, burritos. We have burritos. You mentioned that you get like a really big one. Probably they give you for free, I guess.
Free birds, yeah.
Yeah, and then you take them to work, and you take your time eating a burrito. But we have those things over here. We have light snacks, light sandwiches. We have coffee shops. We have all this stuff.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. You don't get this taste. Your taste buds. You grow up. We grow up. Just eating every meal with a lot of taste in it, a lot of spices, and and used to just not stop eating until you can't really swallow anymore, and we just need to get used to eating, and not necessarily wait until you're full to stop eating. I mean, it's very, very
That's
basic.
Half of it right there is learning how to eat, along with what to eat. You don't have to eat everything on your plate.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I'm actually not just. I'm actually a guy that actually doesn't do good in food, and I'm also teaching myself, not just trying to tell people to do that. And so the good food over here, we have. I mean, right now the world is so internationalized, and you'll come here and you'll find the same restaurants and the same places that offer food, same as Texas. We actually have Tex-Mex food in Bahrain, so
good. All right.
we have tacos.
I could live there then. That's all right.
Yeah,
I've sworn I will never live in a place that doesn't have Mexican food, because it's so good.
Yeah, we have all of the stuff is available, and but actually, like you said, we need to learn. We need to learn how to eat, and I think that's very important. But but the local places, it's mostly we're mostly known into being very creative in the breakfast part of it. So it's a lot of bread. Yeah, so breakfast is fine. So we have like different eggs and beans and and hummus and the types of bread and all that stuff is we're very big in it. We have this thing called shakshuka.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, shakshuka is basically, I'm not sure if you heard it before, but it's like
No.
eggs and tomatoes and onions and
Oh.
and all that stuff mixed together with some tomato paste and you eat it with like this local type of bread that is made really right out. It's made and it's placed on your plate hot.
Oh.
Right, fresh, and
now, is this good for me or bad for me? Because you're really making it sound good.
Well, if it's breakfast, it should be good because that's gonna get you moving after the breakfast.
Okay.
But if you have it for dinner, then you're
it's too
done.
many calories, and then going to bed with a full
and then yeah, exactly. So it doesn't. I mean, it actually. If you have a big breakfast, it doesn't. We have this thing here. The older guys, they say if you want to be healthy, the older ones, they say you eat like a king. You eat breakfast like a king. You eat lunch like a minister, and you eat dinner like a poor man.
Right.
And that's how you get to be healthy because the breakfast is the most important thing, and eat it like a king. Eat it like what kings eat for their breakfast.
Right.
So that's not a problem.
Yeah.
And then lunch, eat it not like a king and not like a poor man, but like like a rich man. Yeah. But and then your dinner, have what a very, very poor man has for dinner, and that's sort of the mentality that we lost over here, and I think this is where we are trying to do all of the stuff in order for us to target this, and I read forums. I go to Slow Twitch and I go to all the different forums, and I see what people talk about when they think about Bahrain, and I read what they talk about. They think, they call us, they call our investment blood money or whatever, or they say, it's just whatever they want to taint us, with, we're victims of doing this and doing that. I'm sure you've read a lot and I've read a lot. And
well, yeah, but it's like Texas is very similar, right? So there'll be, there's parts of Texas I don't want to go to. Not any one place is completely all exactly what you read. So there's we don't walk around. We have this big problem in Texas too, and also in the South of the United States, where they think everybody's racist. Everybody walks around wearing spurs and with 6-gun shooters, just shooting everything with their giant cowboy hats on, and drive a monster pickup truck. Right, and that we all have an oil well in our backyard and ride horses to school or to work, and that's not the case. And now, are there people like that? Sure.
Yeah, and I argue with them a lot on Facebook. Believe me,
yeah,
they're my classmates.
Yeah, and there's different sectors of the like who I work for. Yeah, they. In general, the America has different companies that do different things. So just because I have a job in the United States does not mean I make missiles for Boeing.
Yeah.
There's different jobs here, and there's different facets of everything. So when you try to lump everybody together in a country under one umbrella, then because somebody did one thing or something else, that has nothing to do with you or anything else.
The thing is, if you ask me right now, where have I met the nicest people in America, I will tell you straight away, it's in Charleston, South Carolina. And then you might ask me, well, where have you find the most racist people that you faced in America? I will say Charleston, South Carolina.
Yep.
So the thing is, it's the same in every city. I've lived over there, but I've lived also in DC. But in DC, I haven't, barely any Americans over there. But it's and in Orange County as well, but it seems like it's part of Texas or part of Mexico. And the thing is, in every place you go, there's a colorful mix of people, and you can't really generalize. When you find a group, it doesn't mean that there is no other group over there. And we are also the same thing over here. You know, we have liberals, we have conservatives, we have extremists, we have crazy people, we have smart people, and we have, you know, and it makes our job easier if we are getting assistance to spread the good people, make more good people than bad people, wherever it is. And if we just, you know, get people just become defensive all the time and join ranks with the bad people, then we are not actually doing our job. And I think, you know, what is, I think it's just, you know, we need to just, you know, educate ourselves, I guess, is the best word about that. You know, don't just be closed-minded. And, you know, today I had this argument with someone who was a friend of mine, actually, on Facebook. And he's like, yeah, I do believe that there should be, sorry that, you know, this endurance podcast is now going into a little bit political, but he's saying that I believe that there should be monitoring of mosques in America, and every Muslim should have a ID card, just like what Trump is saying. And you know, and I was like, well, you know, I actually do agree, and to a certain extent, but why don't we just take care of the more important stuff first until you reach here? And he's like, what more? I'm like, you know, be a rational person, and if you have a problem, then look at the more important problems that you have and try to solve them first until you reach this problem. But if you just go and jump to problem number 20 and forget number 1 to 19, then you're actually being irrational. You know, so he's like, well, you know, this is the thing. I'm like, well, no, seriously, let's talk. If you want to talk about it, we believe that in Bahrain right now, I personally believe that in order for me to battle extremists, in order for me to battle you know, diseases, in order for me to battle education, I believe that I need to make people get into sports, because this is where it actually makes, it is actually where it you know, it makes you a happier person. And when you're happy, you know, you will love everyone, and that's how you want to spread love. You know, just get, you know, so why don't we just forget about elections and make everyone do an Ironman? You know.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was the point of the original Olympics in Greece, right? Was to bring everybody together and kind of work things out through sport. At least meet everybody, and then realize they're not that different.
But it actually works. I mean, we're not, you know, we're not dreaming. We're just saying that this actually, what we are doing, endurance sport, or doing triathlon, or going, this actually solves problems without you understanding and noticing. This actually gets people together, even though it's a very individualistic sport. It's very competitive, and you have people that are very, they're very selfish, in this type of sport. But overall, it works.
Right, you get to be an individual, like we all want to be, but then you also get to see. You get to be part of the world, and then realize that everybody's not so different. And then once you meet and identify people from another part of the world, you take it differently when people criticize them, right? Because I know a guy from Egypt, right? I grew up with a guy from Egypt, and I grew up with a guy that lived in Saudi Arabia, and my dad went to the Middle East, and I had friends from Europe. I'm not as close-minded when people say horrible things about a different part of the world. I'm like, have you actually been there? Because I don't think it's actually like that. They're like, oh, and or I wouldn't. My personal thing is I don't say anything about a place until I've been there.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, we have to first understand that if you want to get to know something, then get to know it yourself. Don't have someone tell you how it is, because they will say it the way they see it. You know, so if someone does a triathlon and they hated it, they will tell me how much they hate triathlon. You know, but I want to experience it myself, and I think that you know, all those people that are criticizing us about, you know, organizing a triathlon here in Bahrain, I think, you know, I laugh at those things, because what we are doing is something that would actually benefit us and benefit the people of Bahrain. And then what they're saying is like, no, there's a bad government, and they're just trying to make themselves look good, and they have human rights issues. They've tortured their people, whatever. I'm like, listen, guys, you're cycling in the middle of the country, and you are, who's benefiting out of that? It's the people. We are in Bahrain. Bahrainis who actually, we in the Triathlon Association, we pay the entry fee for every single citizen. Every citizen in our country does not pay an entry fee to get into Ironman.
Wow.
What they can do is actually register. Anyone in Bahrain, they can register, go and pick up their backpack, pick up their t-shirts and whatever it is, and then just don't go to the race. They would end up with a free backpack.
Yeah.
But yeah, and not just a free backpack, but also free food in the welcoming opening ceremony.
Right.
But here's the thing: we're not letting them pay the $300 entry fee because we mean business when we say that we want to benefit those people. We mean business, and in the finishing ceremony. Andrew Messick, the Ironman CEO, he was very touched in the finishing ceremony. He was very touched on what he saw. He was very emotional, and I saw it in his eyes. And he told us, we have a special category for Bahrainis, first to fifth Bahraini male and first to fifth Bahraini female. Mm-hmm. So we have a special. He's like, do you mind if I give a word on stage to those Bahrainis who won, which were 10 of them, 5 girls and 5 guys. And we're like, yeah. And we were on stage. He took the microphone and he's like, Ironman is offering those winning Bahrainis, a qualification slot to the 70.3 World Championships. And they started crying. The ladies, especially, the men were like, they couldn't believe it. They were like, well, wait a minute. Say it again. Did we just qualify to the World Championship? And he said, yeah, you guys just qualified to the World Championship. There's special 10 slots just for you guys.
Wow.
And we just, that thing was so good and so amazing. And I think, all the stuff that you hear about Andrew Messick, he is a very nice guy. Mm-hmm. And what he did was really, really touched us. I would pay so much to see any citizen of this country cry with happiness, and I saw it, and every penny we paid was worth it because I saw people passing the finish line and they were so happy that they were actually crying, and it just made us so happy that we said nothing that we have paid for is wasted, because this is our aim, is to get into people's emotions and make them feel good because they deserve it, and we don't want to spend money into any other thing but that.
Right.
And we were very, very lucky because we were actually funding one of the best Ironmans around the world with the private sector's money. We didn't pay all that stuff.
Right.
We're paying Danielle Arif, obviously, but the event itself was we have sponsors, and they took care of all the stuff, and it was just a very nice day to see the private sector, all these companies that have nothing to do with sports, pitching in, giving us the funds to organize this race, looking at all the volunteers, so happy that they have volunteered. And that's another objective of ours, actually, is to actually get people to have a sense of national identity by volunteering in an event like this. And having all these people, finish it was just a very happy day. And right at the end, Lou Hollander, who the 85-year-old guy, when he finished, right at the end, the MC Paul Kay, he interviewed him while he's at the finish line, just at the finish line, and he told him, "How do you feel?" Lou Hollander picked up the microphone in front of all the crowd around him, and he said, "I wish we had in America a leader like Sheikh Nasser." And when he said that, I kid you not, but there were people who actually, teared up.
Wow.
And an American guy, 85-year-old, knows more about
Yeah.
The
He knows,
the country than anyone younger than him. He's a physicist, and he likes horses. He knows everything. This guy have lived long enough to know so much, and he saw the leadership qualities in a young guy in our country, Sheikh Nasser, that is being heavily criticized by those, a lot of, sorry to say this, but a lot of idiots who don't know how, the sense of the Arab identity is to become a leader and to lead by example and to be part of the people. And without training, he said, "I'm going to do the Ironman," even without training. He was, he's working full time in the military, running operations, daily operations somewhere in Yemen, and he's running it out of here. He was actually over there, coming over from a place, and that you can vanish from this life at any day, coming over here, and then just having a couple of weeks to just prepare yourself for an Ironman, and still being able to take care of everything and qualify to the World Championship at 70.3 Worlds. Is just something that is very, very brilliant.
Right.
And this guy, Lou Hollander, he said it. People saw it over there, and nothing was spent not in its place. Our investment was worthwhile, and we are going to grow this up. And next year, it's going to be a bigger event. It's going to be a better event. And I really think that everyone should be here. You're going to be here.
I'm trying. I'm committed. I'm more committed than last year because I missed out this year. All right, I want to hop in just for a second to mention livingfuel.com. They make all kinds of cool fuels and foods and add-ins for your diet to make sure that you are living a happy, healthy life with your active lifestyle. You triathlete over there, and you over there, and you over there. Check it out, livingfuel.com. They make smoothie mixes and energy bars and energy packets, which are pretty cool. They got a lot of coconut stuff in them, which is super, super healthy. I love coconut, by the way. Oh my gosh. And also, let's see. omega-3, omega-6 fish oil, the capsules that you can take, and then amino acid powders. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. They have a really cool story behind the family that came up with this stuff to fix somebody in their family that was having emotional depression issues and such. They cleaned up their diet, and boom, things turned around, and it had to do with what they were eating. So you ever get run down, you ever get tired, man, look at your food first, and look at people that have got it figured out. So check out livingfuel.com. And yeah, they have this berry-flavored drink mix, which I love, and then the green drink mix, which is really good too. I go through that one first because I think that's, out of everything that they make, that might be the healthiest thing and easiest and most fun to drink. And then I tend to go over to the berry one, and then I start dipping into the amino acids and then the fish oil. I mean, all around, they got everything. It's super cool. So go check them out, livingfuel.com, and make sure that you tell them that Brett from ZenTri sent you. All right, let's get back to the interview. Here we go. I think that the thing is politics, and it's so complicated, and just try to explain your own personal day to other people, and why you do the things that you do, and then now move that up to the scale of a country, and then
exactly.
You're like trying to understand how, and then there's also traction, like karma, of like how things are the way they are now, and things are moving along a certain way, and it's like a battleship, right? You can't turn things on a dime. You have people and places, you have customs, you have culture, and to move a country or just even a sport, right? Like around and trying to get people involved is so complicated that things happen gradually over time, and there's so many moving pieces that to judge something without being right in the middle of it from the outside, you're not looking at the whole picture. That's why I'm glad you came on to talk about that, about actually what it's like trying to do all that and what the actual motives are.
Yeah, see, the thing is, what's more, what's more real, those things we can take care of in a couple of years or so of doing so many different high level meetings. But what's really more, very, very difficult is actually changing the culture.
Right.
The culture is so
I think
hard
sometimes you
to
don't even
change.
have control over the culture. I mean, you try to steer it as much as you can, but it's like a viral video. You don't know what's going to happen. So
it's very. I think I'm almost 36, and I don't. If I'm not successful in my lifetime to change the culture, I don't mind. But someone needs to start somewhere.
Right.
And even if it gets to I just want to be attributed to something that probably will happen after 100 years or whatever. But we need to understand that we have to aim to be the best, because we might not be the best, but at least we'll be somewhere close to the best. And if we don't aim for that, and if we're just okay with just being average, then it's very easy to slip down.
Right.
And I think someone needs to do something, and we are so lucky. In if you look at all the countries around the world, the government, the leadership, it's very difficult to have them believe in and listen to you and say, you know what, you have our full support, and we're actually going to support you with that. So they've made my job, His Highness has made my job so easy by when I go to sit with customs or immigration or sport authorities or companies or private sector or traffic control, they all know that they need to help me, and they open their doors for me because I have a full support of their bosses as well.
Right.
So it makes our job. We don't want to talk about the style, the type of government, and is it election or is it not, or whatever is it. That the fact of the matter is there's a government, and whatever way they look at, we actually are very lucky because we don't have this bureaucracy that we need to go through so many different levels and systems in order for them, and so many different lawyers as well to get to what we want, to organize an event in the place that we want, and target the people that we want, and get everyone aligned with us. So we don't have that. We have a phone, and we can use that phone to call anybody and to tell them, you know what, we're doing something for the country, and whether you believe it or believe in it or not, we already have the blessings of the top leadership, and your job is to support us, and you have no other way out of it. So so you support us. But the only thing is traffic. It's traffic, because of safety. We had to listen to them, but they supported us so much, and we had we didn't have enough those cones and that split the lanes.
Right.
So we were missing like around 10,000 of them. So we had like enough time to go ahead and order 10,000 extra cones because we needed, instead of, they used to just put like every 50 meters they put a cone. But we decided for the safety of the participants to put a cone every 8 meters or 10 meters, something like that.
Right.
So we had to purchase enough cones. So we had everyone working with us, and we were so lucky. And I think people have to see it this way. People have to say thank you. And Lou Hollander saw it. Saw the leadership that we have, that they were part of the people. They're not on top of the people, but they're with the people.
Right.
And the course, is, you hear about Melbourne, for example, it got cancelled because it's a city triathlon that you're like, well, maybe triathlon doesn't have a place in a city. Maybe only ITU does.
Right.
The WTS and so on. But here's the thing: ours is in a city. It goes through the main highway of the city, and it goes right next to people's houses, and you'd see them come out and clap and cheer and be happy. So where's the problem? There's no problem.
Right.
There's the media who are not here, and there are people who are commentating out of their couches somewhere around the world, but they're not here. And who's here is someone that is actually enjoying Bahrain.
Right.
Yeah. So it's you know, and it's a very worth investment. I mean, you know, you pay $300, but the actual products that you get out of that $300 is actually more than $300.
Right. I agree.
So yeah, so the what we offer here for a race for someone is more than $300, even in actual products that you receive in return.
Yeah, the life experience. I was so excited to go because then I could. I was telling my family then I could say that I've been to Bahrain.
Yeah.
You know, like I've been to the Middle East. It would be so fascinating to have gone, and and also support a country that's you know, on the verge of having huge development in triathlon and endurance sports, and that helps. It helps the whole world, you know, to everybody come together and do something.
Yeah, so the thing is, I think you know, I've told you this, that I listen to all your podcasts, and a very interesting comment that actually laughed so hard. It was on Slow Twitch once, that they said that they've someone mentioned that they've listened to one of your podcasts, and said that, you know, the other day I was listening to you and I heard about so and so, and the comment that was on Slow Twitch that actually made me laugh was that someone told him, like, you actually was able to finish it in one day. so that's a. But here's the thing: it's full of really good information, and you know, it might not be as exciting as, you know, other unrelated to sports podcasts, you know, that, you know, bring in music or whatever. Like, for example, Car Talk. Okay, I listen to Car Talk, but I think it's over now or something.
Yeah, I remember Car Talk. Yeah.
It's so much fun, and you know, you laugh so hard about people's questions and all that stuff. But here's the thing: it's full of information, and I think right now, I think when you're here in Bahrain, we have to arrange a small talk to school about food and about yourself, and, you know, maybe we want to take you to one of the. Yeah, I think we'll do it,
that.
and I think, you know, we'll take you to whatever age it is, so that, you know, this is what we want to do, and I think we'll be very honored if you can accept this invitation for us to take you to one of the local schools for you to talk about, you know, basically how to just become a better person.
Right. Yeah. I'll talk about Texas. I'm not a native Texan. I moved here. This place is, even though I've lived here most of my life, it is bizarre.
Yeah.
I'll talk about that forever. Yeah, and how I managed to kind of break free of the norm over here.
Yeah.
And
you mentioned that you were a smoker.
Oh yeah. I had a huge life turnaround. I was athletic young, and then in college, and then after college, smoked and drank just tons, just like everybody does. And it got out of control. And then I gained about 50 pounds more than I needed to. And who knows what health conditions were coming. I was drinking several Cokes a day, and then turned it all around through triathlon. It helped me do it. Yeah.
Well, did the nurse have anything to do with it, or was it just you?
It was mostly me, but it was going back to what I knew was actually right. Because your parents teach you how to eat when you're a kid. Good parents do. They teach you what real food is and real health. And I think it's a natural phenomenon. I think it happens around the world. Is people eat healthy when they're young and they're growing up, and then when they go in the United States, they go off to college or they become like a teenager or whatever. They eat junk food for a while, and then when they try to fix themselves, they've had that early programming on how to be healthy and what to do. So you can fall back on that, and it works.
Well, you know, one thing that I'm also fascinated about when I hear your podcast, and I think it's something that is, you know, it sounds a little bit weird, but sometimes, you know, I hear about when you talk about saying, okay, it's you get $1 off over here, or you're so much about knowing exactly what to spend, and especially about investing in buying for example, a carbon wheel for your kid, or trying to buy good and cheap healthy food at the same time, and you're sort of very attentive to how you spend, and I hear it a lot in your podcast, and I think this is where we also don't know what to do over here in this part of the world. We, if you talk about, people don't want to be like, whatever, it's $1. Whether it comes, it goes, whatever, I don't even care. And I think we don't know how to spend our money. And one thing that I've learned listening to you is that, the culture over there, you and also the, living over there for 10 years, is that you guys, and you're like, I mean, you sound like you're a bit better than so many others, but it's just that the carefulness of where to spend your money is something that is I'm amazed by it personally, because here's the thing, you're careful in your bike, careful in the way you buy components to your bike and service it at the same time, and the food that you eat, and the stuff that you buy for your son, and how you train and where you train and all of that stuff. You can actually become a triathlete and be careful on what you spend, because that's one thing about triathlon, is that we don't know how to spend as well.
Yeah, I almost started a podcast years ago about being a frugal triathlete, right? So how to do triathlon without just spending tons and tons of money, because it's got to be one of the most next to motorcycle racing and Formula One and horse racing. Like triathlon is really expensive.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah. So how actually it doesn't have to be hardly expensive at all, because I was doing it on almost no budget whatsoever. How I figured out how to just save tons of money, eating and also doing the triathlon lifestyle, and by choices over time that add up.
I think that would be important for you to talk to the national team that we have in the association, because I'm trying to get people to the national team, and the first thing they do when they come to the team, they're like, okay, I need a new bike. I need. I'm like, I don't have.
Not till you outperform the bike that you're on.
Yeah, they're like, well, I need a bike. If you want me to represent the country, I need a bike. I need the new this, and I mean, they don't think about. They're into triathlon, and the first thing they think about when you're called to to represent your country so we can test them is just this wish list of products, like the newest Garmin, 1000, whatever, the newest watch, the newest, an Oakley glass, whatever. So they come up with this list, and we're like, it's not like, it's not that, we sometimes I wish we just have, we were like in just doing running, because all you need for running is sneakers.
Right.
And, but we're very expensive, and but it's just not just triathlon, but it's the culture that I think kids need to start growing up and learning how to spend and how to save, because maybe it would be good if you talk to seniors, because they're about to, for the first time, not live off of their parents, and they need to. We a lot of people that here in this country, they have the luxury to buy products, but the problem is they don't know how to spend. They don't know the difference between $1 and $10.
Right.
And I learned it because I lived there, and I've seen how people are. And I admire it. It's not really cheap. It's not really because someone is poor. It's just because you're a responsible person. And I want that part of the culture to actually come and embed itself over here in this part of the world, in our culture, which is just to be careful in spending. And it's just a lot of things that I want to do, and we want to do, and we don't know where to start. We can't really do all of the stuff, but we know that at least when we try to make people become more active, we're going to be much better off in the future. And I saw that in North Carolina. I visited a university called Guilford College or something like that.
Uh-huh.
It's a Quaker college or something, Quaker city and area. They have a gym, and you need to go and have a look at it. They have a gym that is actually self-powered, if you want to call it.
Yeah.
So the actual gym machines power the gym.
Yeah, that would be very Quaker.
Yeah.
I work with a girl that's Quaker. Her dad's Quaker, and the amount of self resourcefulness
Yeah.
is insane, and the character, that they have, and how they get things done, and done well is very impressive. And my family has a strong German heritage with being resourceful and building and doing things right and working hard, and she just blows the German side of my family away. Just like, wow. And she's like, "Do you think I'm weird?" And I'm like, "No, I'm impressed. This is pretty amazing." Never asks. I never have to ask her. I never have to tell her to do anything. She comes to me and asks what needs to be done.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I said that is the number one value that a boss is looking for in an employee.
Oh yeah.
If you go into an interview, tell them that. And when I was checking on her references before our company hired her a long time ago, they said that. They said the best thing about her is that you don't ever have to ask her to do what she's working on. She'll come to tell you that she's finished and what should she work on next.
This is a quality that you can't find in anywhere. You have to.
Yeah.
It's being proactive.
Yeah.
It's just not waiting for you to. I mean, that's amazing. And I think, back to the Quaker thing is that they have really good qualities.
Uh-huh.
The whole sort of belief thing, and it's just so impressive, and especially that gym. And it just gives us a lot of ideas over here. And I it's just so. I mean, if we have money to waste, and if we have, why don't we just tell people to go to the gym, or to take, make some watts and make energy, or power this battery or recharge this certain battery.
Mm-hmm.
And when you recharge the battery to a certain level, you get credit to, for example, get free food or something like that, free dinner. So instead of paying for their medicine, you can pay for their food, or give them credit in some grocery store or for milk and bread and something like that. And you can, just let them, I think if we have just thinking out loud, if you have a really massive battery that is powering what you want to power, you just let people to waste their energy by actually, or use their energy to power that battery, and that's that will take care of their health. At the same time, it's going to take care of create energy.
The very first video game we ever got Kai, and it was the only one he had for a long time. My son, when he was about 3 or 4, Fisher Price makes a bicycle video game that you have to pedal for it to work.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So you pedal along, and you can kind of steer with the handlebars, and you go around potholes, and you hit targets and stuff like that as you pedal along this road.
Yeah.
And he loved it, man. It was awesome. And then you stop pedaling. It just, you don't go anywhere. So.
Yeah, but this is going to be our future. This is where we are heading, and this is where I think, we are putting our money in, and Ironman or the triathlons over here, and even the Triple Crown. It's all part of us trying to, basically promote a positive environment.
Yeah.
And when you pay this money into something like this, it's not wasted. It's not wasted at all. There is people in triathlon, where in different podcasts and forums and magazines. They talk about $1 million, and they talk about what we do in our, put a lot of money, bring professionals, give them a lot of prize purse. That is nothing compared to what we are spending in defense, compared to what we are spending in it's nothing compared to what we are spending when you get to that level. I mean, just think about it. The cost for getting a soldier to Afghanistan, one single soldier to get to Afghanistan for 1 year, the cost is the same as building 23 schools in Afghanistan.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, one soldier or 23 schools, what would you choose? And I think
if you build the schools, then you don't need the soldier.
Exactly.
Because you've changed the culture to be people help take care of themselves and stuff.
Exactly, but that's the mentality that we have, and our leadership also has. But that's the mentality that we need to spread. Is that don't think about it that we're wasting money. Daniela Reef, she deserves it, because she's an inspiration. She's one person, but that one person has made so many people want to be like her.
Right.
And she deserves that. I mean, she's going to be rich with money, but there are so many people who are going to save the country millions by trying to be like her.
Right.
And think about the money you save. Don't think about the money you spend. And just doing another triathlon. WTC is making money. They're going to benefit and they're going to be putting money in their pockets. But let them do that. They're helping us reach our goals. We don't mind if they make. I mean, that's part of their business, and we respect it. But they're good people over there, and we work with them daily. I mean, I listen to what do you call it? This podcast off of New Zealand.
I Am Talk.
I Am Talk, yeah. So I listen to how critical they are to, they hate WTC. I mean, I just want to say they're so pro challenge, okay? And the guy, and I don't want to say who it is, but one of them actually emailed me when I told them that, if you want to know more about Bahrain and what's happening over there, we're more than ready to come over and talk to you about it. He emailed me, not without an invitation, just saying to me, I'm so pissed off at you guys just going to Ironman and dissing challenge. He's so opinionated, but here's the thing: you need to understand the business out of that. You need to respect what businesses do, and then just try to get your part out of it. Think about absolute gains. Don't think about relative gains. When we think about relative gains, we will all lose. Just think about what you will gain out of it. So we are thinking about what we will gain as a country, as a nation out of it. We're not saying, Ironman is going to make money, so we're not going to pay them. We're not going to be doing that because that's going to stop us from reaching our objectives. So we need to.
It doesn't make sense when you actually say that out loud. Ironman's going to make money, so we don't want them.
But that's the thing. This is what people are mad about, that Ironman is making money. Well, don't think about what they're making. Think about what they do in return. They're not stealing money from you. You are actually paying them. You are actually the person who is clicking on register and going there and putting your credit card over there. If you don't do that, they will not make money.
Right.
So it's we don't mind. We don't really mind we're getting so much behind out of that. We want to spend in people. We want to invest in people. We don't want to, it's not we don't care if, I think I actually support Ironman for what they do, because they actually do change people's lives, and in a business way. There are other businesses that actually you pay them and they give you nothing in return, but Ironman gives you something in return. And if you don't want to do it, then do what Coach Brett has done, which is do a self-supported.
I've done lots of those too.
Exactly.
I've learned to not things change can change at any moment. So, like you were saying, like right now, Bahrain is really wealthy. Well, that could end, at any moment. So it's more important to work on the culture, because culture is what sticks around. And I mean, and you say, oh, well, I mean, we had a city that was doing a part of the country that was doing great for a while, and now it's not. It's called Detroit.
Yeah.
So it's the culture, that you need to work on. And there's places all over the world where you sink money into long term because things come and go. And like Ironman, people get too caught up in a brand, because things change. And to say, well, I'm always going to be Challenge or I'm always going to be Ironman, when those things actually don't exist. That's a stamp on a collection of people, that those people come and go, so something can change.
So the thing is, the business out of Ironman is very different. It's a good business because it helps you build people. And when you go to another business that helps you build buildings or builds roads, that thing is not sustainable. But the best type of investment is the business that helps you pay people. And guess what? You're not paying them a lot compared to paying them to paying a company to help you build, whatever it is, bridges or buildings or computers or softwares or whatever. The best kind of investment is the investment that is actually directly in the people themselves. And okay, yeah, it's $1 million for Daniela Reef or whatever. It's a lot of money when you give it to one person. But let's think about it from a very big macro perspective. It is really, really a fraction of what is being paid to, in the national level, to programs like education, like healthcare, like roads, like relationships, like embassies, like military expenditure. It is, just be scientific. Go to learn how to read data, learn how to read how governments spend their money, and then you'll feel very dumb because you'll be like, that's it. That's the best type of, that's a really good investment when you're actually not, going in debt so that you would give banks money so they would give more loans to people,
Right.
You don't need to do that. You just pay the people directly. just go and give them and tell them, here's a free entry to Ironman and do it. And guess what? We had we had 25% of our participation who were women. That is the highest percentage of any Ironman around the world.
Oh wow!
In the Middle East, 25% is a record. Nobody have ever beaten. Nobody had ever had a higher percentage of women.
I did not know that. That's really interesting.
Exactly. In this country, in the Middle East, in a Muslim country, 25% were women, higher than Europe, higher than Asia, higher than America and South America. And what do you want to? What can you do with the statistics? Well, you can tell people to shut up.
Beat us.
Yeah, exactly.
Try to beat us.
Try to beat us. We're 25% women. Try to beat us. And not just that, but so many. We had 400 people who did triathlon for the first time. We were able to have 3 bike shops they opened because of the event. 3 bike shops, not one, not 2, but 3 bike shops because of us. We created jobs. We were able to have about 800 people to visit Bahrain for the first time to learn about this country. When I went to Chicago for the ITU finals, WTS. So I met people over there from in Chicago when I was jogging, over there, and 15 of them, because of me, they came to Bahrain and they, when they enjoyed the country from Chicago all the way over here. Yeah. So it's all of this stuff is very amazing. Triathlon is a very, it's a sport tourism thing. It brings us closer. It makes us, be friends with each other, so that we would understand and not allow politicians or whoever they are to dictate how we look at the world.
Right.
And now we can tell them, hey, by the way, I know this guy, and he's not like what you have told me, and I don't need to, be scared of him because of you.
Right.
I've been there. I've stayed. I had lunch with him and his, family, and he's not like. I don't think that he needs a special ID to say that he is who he is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think triathlon is our weapon, and endurance sport in general is our weapon to battle all the evil around the world. This is, I'm not saying. It's something that I might laugh at it later that I actually said it, but I actually do believe in it.
I never really thought of it that way. I've always thought of it as a way to, to combat poor health and people that just don't have anything to do in life, But I've thought about sports as a way to get people together, but I've never really thought of it as aggressively as you have, as like the way to get people to come together.
Yeah, it and other sports, but since we like triathlons, we'll use it.
Yeah,
so
it's got a special hook. Yeah,
we can do it. We can. There's it's a sport.
Well, it's an individual sport, which is nice, because team sports get really difficult. You got to make the team, and then your team's got to perform, and you don't have as much control over it. But with an individual sport, you can compare. When I ride Zwift, it's so much fun. The video game where you ride on the computer, because there's people from all over the world riding all at the same time, and they all have their country flag, but they're all cyclists.
Yeah.
So we all have flat tires. We all.
Yeah, I see. I follow you on Strava, so I see your Zwift. So it's a weird looking map. It looks like teeth and stuff like that. But it's So
it's fun. You'd like it.
We're not really big in turbo trainers over here because we can go out anytime we want. So it's It's I'm gonna do it one day, Zwift. I heard that I should get free Zwift with my Strava something. I don't know where I heard it, but
yeah, you do. You get 2 months free Zwift if you have a Strava Pro membership.
Yeah, so I have a Strava Pro membership. I think I have to check out Zwift. But it's gonna be after Dubai because I'm just so busy with Dubai for now. We have about, I think, just over 4 weeks to Ironman 70.3 Dubai, and we just we're very, very busy because it's going to be very big, and the first race off the from the Triple Crown, so it's full of professionals trying to go there and grab their $1 million.
Oh yeah. Got to kick that off.
Yeah, so it's I don't know. I mean, it's very interesting, and I'm very, very happy for Daniel Arif. And I think Jan Frodeno might be able to win it. He wasn't. I don't think he was able. He didn't participate last year. He was. I think he was not
so
injured or something.
Kona or something.
Yeah, something like that. So, but now that he won German Athlete of the Year, I think this should be his next goal. I think he can do it. He can pull it off.
Yeah.
So, and the route is very amazing over there in Dubai, and the city is very beautiful. So,
it is.
Yeah, hopefully when you come here, and I'll be able to have enough time after to travel with you. Maybe to if you come to Bahrain from Dubai. Maybe I'll go to Dubai with you, and then before you stop over, before you go back to to the States, we can go around for a day or two. And
I'd love that.
Yeah, we can go to the tallest building in the world.
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's
awesome. Yeah.
No, but I'll show you around. So
cool.
So it's I think you'll love it. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I love to travel and see. I love to meet people from all over. It's great. It's so good for yourself, to go around and travel and see how things are the same and different all at the same time.
Yeah. It's the majority of things are the same.
Right.
But the problem we have as human beings is we just look at the differences.
Right. That's what we notice. Yeah.
Yeah, we notice the differences, and we think it's all about the differences. But we're all the same, and we are all in the same boat at the same time.
That's true.
Yeah, we there's absolutely no way that whatever happens in the U.S. doesn't have effect to the two things that happen over here. Right. So we are just crazy to think that we can do whatever we want and nobody's going to get affected. We're all together in it. So we need to find ways, all of us, to just take a step forward together and support each other wherever we are. And we're doing this interview, and I'm like, halfway around the world, and we're talking the same language. We believe in the same thing, and you're helping me to send out the messages, and I'm using you to send the messages in the U.S. and at the same time in this part of the world. So it's just
man, I'm glad to do it.
Yeah, it's part of Zen, I believe.
Yeah, well, like the town we live in, it's a major research university. So I'll go out for a jog in the morning, and I'll see people from all over the world in all different kinds of attire, all dressed differently. I actually jog by a mosque half the time when I go run. Okay. Here in College Station, Texas, in the middle of nowhere, Texas.
Do you go to the other side of the road when you...
No, one time I was jogging in their parking lot and they told me to leave. So I was actually asked to leave.
Oh.
They're like, this is private property. And I'm like, yeah, but I mean, it's a parking lot. There's nobody here. They're like, get out. And I said, okay. But there's just people, my son plays soccer, and you'll have several different languages on the soccer team. And there's people from Asia, Middle East, Africa, Europe. And we all seem to get along somehow, and it's actually, I think, a better town because of all the diversity. And a college town, a huge college town, the different kinds of food and the different things to do is just amazing. It's college towns are rated the best places to live in the United States.
Wow.
Because of the education level and the diversity. So.
Yeah. I would. I think I support that because when I was in California and in Claremont, so there's a consortium of universities over there, and I was in Claremont Graduate University, and it's in the middle of a neighborhood, and it's just so peaceful because all you see is just students walking around and with books, and you'd feel that you're in a much elevated neighborhood because everyone is smart around you, supposedly. But it's I think we have a lot of positives over here and negatives, and you guys at the same time. But the way we should communicate with all of us is to just make sure that we share the positive ones, and that would mitigate and minimize all the negative in our culture. And I think I am actually very thankful to you in your podcast, because a lot of my work and a lot of our work is actually based on the education that we have, and the education that we have is out of the things that we learn from the books that we read and the podcasts that we hear. And I myself have learned a heck of a lot just listening to you about how to eat, how to train, and especially the last one about spending as much time as possible on a TT bike. Sometimes you have this knowledge inside of your head, but you want someone to spell it out for you. And I think it's what I do is actually I go to friends on a bike ride and I tell them, hey, this is what you need to be doing, because I've heard it from you and from other podcasts are more like news than actually telling us how to train better and how to do things better. And I think I think it's very important. I hope that the message out of this interview is that for me to tell your audience that it's look at triathlon from a different perspective. Don't look at it just how you can, but look at it and understand that you're actually not just, you're actually part of something very big.
Yeah.
And you need to keep on doing those races, and you need to spend on yourself more, and you need to understand that there are other parts of the world that are looking at you and want to be like you. And as long as you continue doing it, you are helping in the growth of the sport somewhere else, just by simply doing it. So it's much for us in this part of the world. It's much bigger than actually just going and doing a triathlon. It's because of what we want to achieve, and I have to credit His Highness Sheikh Nasser for being a leader in this part of the world by having a team of his own, which is Bahrain Endurance 13.
Mm-hmm.
That it's his team, and he can change the management whenever he wants, but it's his team, and people are in the team because of him, and he is doing a lot for triathlon, and he's trying to make people understand that there's a country called Bahrain that we actually want the world to see us and to see the good things about us, about our culture, about our religion, about our society, and to have a chance to come and visit us at the same time. So he's doing a lot, and he's investing personally in this team. At the same time, he also has the Triple Crown, which is his own. It's called Nasser bin Hamad Triple Crown, and I think it's elevating the sport of triathlon, and we don't want to just underestimate how big this thing is. We want to promote it. We want to understand that this is good, so support it. Don't just criticize, but support. And at the same time, we have Ironman Bahrain and Ironman Dubai, and it's an opportunity for everyone to come and participate and learn. So it's an opportunity for you if you want to go out and visit a country one day and do a tour. Just go out around the world. Then just use it as an excuse. Just come and do an Ironman.
I agree. Well, let's leave it on that. And I think this was really great. What a message there at the end, for sure, for everybody. And how can people stay in touch with you or find out more about you? Like, where are you on the internets? So people can be.
Yeah, I actually do have a Twitter and an Instagram as well, and they're both the same thing, which is just Saqer, and a website that I write about. I write weekly articles about everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's and the website actually is the same address as well. So it's Saqer Al-Khalifa, which is SaqerAlKhalifa.
Mm-hmm.
So that's at Saqer Al-Khalifa on Twitter, or at whatever, or Instagram, or the same thing but .com after it, which is my website. And they can and in my website I don't have photos and stuff, and you can just come read what I write and comment and tell me if I'm making sense or not. so
yeah, well, with your political science background, I think you enjoy that. The discussion, because it's thinking, it's philosophy, all day long.
Exactly. It's called my website is called My Emotional Rationale Meet Here. So it's a bit of what I believe in is that your emotions tell you to do one thing, and your rationale tells you to do another thing. But when you have both, but when you bring them both, that's when I blurb everything in my website.
Trying to find the space, the middle meeting point.
The middle space, exactly.
Well, it's been an honor to have you on, and thank you so much. And I'm gonna try to take you up on your offer to come. I really appreciate it. I am honored to be asked, and like I said, I'm gonna try to make it happen.
No, you will. I'll try to help as much as I can.
Sure.
But thanks very much. Thanks for your time, and and keep on giving us those good tips in your podcast, and don't fall down
anymore. than I already
anymore.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right. That was a really cool interview. I learned a whole bunch of different stuff and points of view coming from the Middle East. And I did not know the Fifth Fleet, I think he said the Fifth Fleet, is stationed there in Bahrain. That's interesting. Like, I didn't know that they were such a supporter of American military. That's crazy. Anyway, the thing I want to get to next is hit up Saqer, all you want on the internet. He's a very, very intelligent guy, and we'll have interesting conversations with you. And that's how I got to meet him. Super cool. And let's go ahead and get started with how to help support the ZenTri podcast and get something for you too. So let's read supporters. You can go to the left side of ZenTriathlon.com. Again, that's ZenTriathlon.com. You can hop over there and set up a donation. Oh man, let's see. We got all these people that donated last time, and I'll read your name on the show. I'm very excited to do so, and it helps get your name out there that you're a supporter. So let's see, we had a big donation from Peter Diaz, Daniel Stark, Joseph Rogalski. What's up, Joseph? And Dwayne Morin, Richard Trago, James Godak, Brian Kemper, Matthew Heinz, Rob Libert. And he also commented on my bike ride. He said, "Man, very cool to run into you on Zwift tonight. I've been listening since day one. You were 2 minutes ahead, and when we started chatting, I had to ride my ass off at 4+ kilowatts per kilos per watt, whatever. Anyway, to catch you just in time for you to log off." Smiley face. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun on Zwift. Jason Drury, Allison Frutos, Matthew Froes, Todd Nelson, Andre Schalteben. Is that German? Sachtelben. Anyway, he said, "Hi, Brett. With this donation, I wish you a Merry Christmas to you and your family. I am listening for a whole year now, and you had a big impact on my training and nutrition, mainly getting off the sweets and junk food. My plans for 2016 are two long-distance races, which are 2 months apart." Oh, yeah, okay. Challenge Galway, 25.06, Imberman in, that's backwards. So April, May, June 25th, and Imberman in France in August. Do you have any advice on how to handle the recovery in between? And one more question. Do you have any plans coming to Europe for a race in the next few years? Yes, I always want to come to Europe. I have all these people that want me to come stay. And it's always just scheduling, man. Okay, so recovering, and I want to say thank you very much for offering. It makes me feel so awesome to have people offer for me to come stay. Imberman in France, 15 point. Oh, let's see. How to handle recovery in between. You got 2 months apart. Take a little bit of a break between one and then start building up slowly to the next. That big race before your second big race, your first big race, is pretty much a training run for your second big race. And they're so big that you just kind of cruise through them until the very end. Keep up the volume. Keep up the volume. Don't get too hot in the summer. Heat and dehydration will kind of wreck your training a little bit. Just take it chill and relax and get up to the volume that you need for these kinds of races. You can find online or email me and I'll tell you. And just get up to the volume and just do the volume relaxed. And that is your best way to handle 2 big races in 2 months. All right, Dan Machia sent a donation. Jessica Woodruff, M. Webb, longtime donor. Erica Dennison, Tyler Moyer, what's up, dude? Spiros Fetsis, hey, check them out in Libertyville. And Peter Salzian. And also, you can help support the show and get your name mentioned on the podcast. Going to the left side, PayPal link, there is a recurring donation, or you can do a one-time donation, and you donate, and you can ask me a question, and I'll answer it on the air, and much more in length by email sometimes, if you ask. And, yeah, it helps pay for the cost of the show, and I love doing it for you. It's super, super cool. And it's a way for you to help support and keep the show on the air. All right, I need to get off the air and get you guys going with the training log. Lots of cool stuff going on here. So here we go.
You are entering the ZenTri training log zone. Huneli.
Hi everybody, my name is Brett. I'm a triathlete.
I decided it's time I got some friends more suited to my status.
But Joe, we've been friends for years.
Hey, we all make mistakes. Come on, dudes, let's go exercise! Exercise! Yeah! I'm gonna do sit-ups till I poop myself!
All right, welcome to a new training log, or what seems to be becoming right now, Project Heal Broken Wing. Project Broken Wing is I'm trying to rehab myself for the moment. I'm sure I'll get into real rehab here pretty soon with a fractured left arm, dislocated elbow, and fractured right toe. And as I've noticed, as my elbow starts to get a little bit more strength in it and I'm able to actually do things, other things are popping up that seem to be fractured or sprained, including I think there's a broken bone or something in my left hand, the outside of my left hand, where I probably stopped myself from falling down. And in my right arm, wrist, there seems to be something going on in there as well. And basically, generally, I'm kind of a mess. And it hurts, man. It hurts so bad. I was trying to shower after my swim. And this happens like once or twice a day, maybe several times a day. I don't know, maybe I'll block it out. Where I'll twist my hand just a little bit too much. And the pain that it sends up my arm and into my body, and it knocks the air out of my lungs, is just mind-blowingly riveting, like being shot with a gun. It's incredible. And it's just from twisting my hand just a bit too much. I was trying to wash my right armpit, and I can't get my hand up in there really, but if I put my thumb next to my forefinger on my left hand and then put shampoo on top of that, kind of like how Bill Clinton kind of like pointed with his thumbs all the time, if I kind of do that, I can get that kind of assembly with my left hand up into my left armpit or right armpit and kind of scrub like that. And but I was doing that this morning, and I twisted my hand just a tad bit too much doing that, and I about fell down in the shower, just grimacing in pain. It was unbelievable. And then getting into the pool itself, that's what really alerted me to everything that's wrong. I hopped into the pool a few days ago, and that sent pain all through my right foot and into my joints, my elbows, my wrists. I was like, holy crap. Getting out of the pool that day, I started thinking, man, I could really use that hydraulic chair, to like, it takes like 3 minutes to get me up and down, because it's taking me, I didn't time it this morning because it's just sad, but it was taking me probably a couple minutes to put on my goggles and my swim cap to swim. And because I have to do it almost entirely with my right hand, because I can't bend my elbow enough to get my fingers with the grip, and I can't use any kind of strength, because that hurts really bad too, to pull on goggles. Like, for example, my gym bag, getting it out of the locker, I couldn't lift my gym bag out of the locker because it weighs too much, and there's almost nothing in it. But lifting up with my left hand a gym bag is just really, really painful. So the first time I went back to the pool was really just to see if I could swim, and I went 22 minutes, and then all of a sudden, and I was just kind of trying to figure out, how to swim. Make sure this is recording. And I'm kind of cruising along, and then I was like, hey, this isn't that bad. After a while, and about 22 minutes in, I noticed there's like, it feels like rocks and gravel all of a sudden rolling around inside my elbow joint, and I'm like, ooh. Well, no, at first I was like, hey, maybe that's good. Maybe I'm knocking stuff loose. And then after about another 30 seconds, I was like, wait a minute. This is bad. This is probably not good. I got lots of time, so let's just cut it short and or just kind of watch it for a minute. So I swam like another minute, and it never stopped. And I was like, okay, I'm done. It was weird. It never really hurt. That didn't. And then that's when I figured out I couldn't get out of the pool. I go over to the wall. It's only waist deep, and I can't push down with my left arm to get out of the pool. So finally I had to figure out how to get out of the pool on the wall ladder thing, and I had trouble doing that. And I was like, oh my God, I am so pitiful. And I think that was the night where I felt really sad for myself. And I went home and I told Emily, what if my arm never gets straightened out? The doctor said that it may never get straight. And you really worry. You've got the death of your ego of what your life used to be, and then the change is just like so traumatic, and the uncertainty of what's going to happen. And what's funny is, everybody just kind of normalizes after a while. I've got all kinds of injuries where I don't think my body works correctly, but I'm used to them, right? So it doesn't really, those don't really bother me anymore. And knowing that, I'm like, come on, Brett, to cope with this. But I was telling Emily, I was like, man, I just feel so depressed. This sucks. I was really down. And I'm swimming, and there's like dudes that are all swimming around me. And I've noticed when I see people in pictures and doing stuff, I'm like, look at them with their perfectly functioning joints. How they can, my right arm, like a typical swimmer, I can hyperextend my right arm. My left arm, I can't extend it straight at all, and it's like really painful. I still got another like 15 degrees or so, 20 degrees maybe to go, and my arm just won't go any further. But it does get better every day, a little bit better, but you still don't know, is it going to be totally straight? So I started a thread on Slow Twitch forums asking about if anybody else had this, and holy crap, the number of people that have had this, and the huge variety of results that that people have had. And to the person, they all say do physical therapy, and physical therapy hurts, but you got to do it to try to get that joint straightened out so that you get full extension of your arm. One guy had this in both arms at the same time from a bike wreck. It's like, holy crap, man. And so I think that first day, I swam 22 minutes. I don't know how many yards I went. It was nothing. And then I went back a couple days later and swam 30 minutes and kind of figured out how to swim. And basically, I just throw my left arm up and over and just let it fall back down. I can't really pull with it. I can't put any strength into it. I kind of can, but the pain. But having that little forum group, kind of pitch in and help, which is community, right? This is the value of community. It made me feel so much better. And they said, this is going to hurt, doing this. So, and I have two different kinds of pain. I have pain from the joint, the rehab pain of trying to straighten out the joint and do stuff like that. And that is an incredible amount of pain, but it's durable. And that's what I expect as I try to, rehab this. And then there's the other kind of pain of where I'm torquing the bone where it's broken, and that's bad. And so I try to stay away from that 100%. But the rehab pain of the therapy, I'm like, well, maybe it should hurt a little bit while I swim in that one area, in the ligaments and joints, and just a little dose of it is helping. And it did. It made me feel a whole lot better in the end, and kind of loosened things up a little bit. It's still terrible, but the next thing I know, I get out and I've swam half an hour. I feel better than when I started. And what is the other thing? The 1,700 yards, which is pretty nice. And so on swim team growing up, they had us do one-arm drills all the time. So basically, I'm doing a one-arm drill, swimming with my right arm, and just kind of flopping my left arm over and over and over again. What's crazy is I can do flip turns. It's really weird. I push like this really weird way, and I can do a flip turn. And then today, hold on, I'm having to steer with both hands because I can't turn the wheel. Today, went right back. Let it hurt while I was swimming again. I'm getting better at like figuring out how to swim, but it takes like 2-3 minutes to get on my goggles and stuff. I have to take all this extra time. And I knocked out 36 minutes and 2,100 yards, which is nice. It's like a little bit of progress. That's all I'm looking for, is just a little bit of progress. I got a phone call yesterday that my right toe is fractured from the x-ray. And when I go in for my visit in about a week or two, we're going to talk about what to do with that. And the toe fracture is kind of a mixed blessing because it's making me stop running, which is what I needed to do to work with this heel spur on my left foot that's up under there that is not going away. And it might be just not running for a long time is the cure. So there's all that. But it was cool. I was listening to the Tim Ferriss show, and he had an interview with the top obstacle course racer chick, and they do stuff like 24, 48 hours and stuff, I guess 40 hours. I know 24. And her name is Amelia Boone, and she was saying that she was just jogging, and this is exactly what just jogging along. There's a thing in cycling called just riding along, a JRA wreck or a frame or part break. I was just riding along. It's like, yeah, right. But anyway, she was just running along and stepped in a pothole wrong in the streets of Chicago, and was like, oh, that hurts, ow, 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 and kept jogging. And then after a little bit, she said, okay, this is serious. This is more than just like a twisted knee. And then went in and saw that she had a torn meniscus in her right knee, and then had surgery, had it fixed, and then went on 8 weeks later to race some epic, obstacle course thing and get first place. But it was, it's just a coincidence that episode was was available, I guess yesterday is when it came out. And again, Tim Ferriss show, Amelia Boone, and she's and so it made me feel a whole lot better, to be like, yeah, there's life after all this horrible, like, what are you going to do with yourself? And also, I'm 42, and it's funny, you just see the end coming, down the road someday. It's just tiny little, it's death by 1,000 cuts, and then someday you're 82 and you can barely get your arms up over your head because of all your injuries over life and your joints not working as well, and you're just becoming less and less fluid and rubbery and more rigid. And the next thing you know, you're 80 something, and it'll happen, it'll be you'll be 80 something in lane one, just trying to get in the water and swim just a little bit. And that's, where we're all headed eventually, if we're lucky, And I was sitting there swimming, kind of like this is what you're doing, dude. You're rehabbing, you're trying to get better and trying to make your body get it back into shape, and never stop, and always keep trying to stay active and fit, and don't let something, take you down for good and make you quit exercising. The real goal in life for people like me is to live to see not only your grandkids, but your great-grandkids. I mean, how awesome would that be? I had 2 great-grandparents alive when I was a little kid, and the impact that has on you is amazing. They were in their 80s, and yeah. So I want to get there without flopping over dead first. And they were both really active, and that's how they did it. So, all right, that's it for now. I'm going to go into W2 the ERK and have a snack out, babe. All right, boom. Let's take a quick break and talk about Hornet Juice. All right, Hornet Juice, also known as HJ, which I was told by one listener to not call it that, but it is amazing stuff. It's an amino acid powder that is designed to replicate the saliva of the Japanese killer hornet. I mean, it doesn't get much crazier than that. But the crazier thing is that it actually works. It's super cool. The amino acid blend actually turns on your body's ability to better burn body fat. Everybody that tries it says, holy cow, I was able to go a lot longer feeling great without a huge jump in fuel or anything like that, because you're metabolizing your body fat better. And it really works. It's super cool. I remember, gosh, it was years and years ago, I first used it on a bike workout, and it was after the fact where I realized it was a Hornet Juice that did it, because I was like, what happened during that ride? It was one of my longest rides to date. And I was off the front and riding with friends and just felt amazing the entire time. And then I was like, oh yeah, it must have been that Hornet Juice I added in. So it wasn't the placebo effect. I forgot that I put it in there. And then the effect of the ride was amazing. I had to put 2 and 2 together later. And also I used it during my Ultraman. We're talking 176-mile bike ride at almost 20 miles per hour, just cruising along all day long. Hornet Juice and maple syrup all day. Freaking worked great, man. Really, really good stuff. What's super cool is it's actually not that expensive for what you get. One packet lasts an hour and a half. Not an hour, not half an hour. And it's actually not a lot of calories either. I think it's like 60 or 80 calories per packet. So what you do is you add it to your carbohydrate that you eat. So let's say you do maple syrup, or you do Gatorade, or you do UCAN or something like that. You add this in, and that's it. Good to go. Super, super easy. And what happens is people order, like the smallest you can order is a 10-pack. They order a 10-pack, and then they come back later and say, holy crap, I want to order 30, 40, 60. I mean, it gets crazy. 100. Because the more you buy at once, the better of a deal you get, of course, because you get it in bulk. What's super cool is it comes from New Zealand, so you get a package from New Zealand. It does take a few extra days to get there, maybe up to an extra week, because it's got to come from New Zealand, which is still worth it, man. It's super cool. And also the thing that's really worth it is that you're helping support ZenTri by several different ways. You're doing something for yourself, which is really cool. And doing something for yourself to help you motivate you and have something fun to try out on rides and races is super cool. I've never had problems with it during races, by the way, like adding something new in. And then also you're helping the podcast that you're sitting here listening to right now stay on the air, because a little bit comes off the top to help support ZenTri. And Hornet Juice does that because we're helping them sell it. So they give a little bit back to ZenTri from your purchase. And then also, you get something to show off to your friends. You're like, look at this crazy packet of Hornet Juice. Whap, 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 as you shake it in your hand to get it ready. You cut off the top with a pair of scissors and just pour it right into your fuel. Or, before a workout. They say you can use it to help maintain weight because it's a protein powder, amino acid powder. And it keeps you from getting hungry and stuff. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's got all around, lots of different uses. So get your Hornet Juice by going over to ZenTriathlon.com. And over on the right-hand side, there's a link. It's purple and yellow. There's a link to get Hornet Juice and get your sting on. What I like to say is I came up with a slogan for them. They're going to have to run with this. Sting the competition. Anyway, I've got hundreds, if not thousands, of happy customers using this stuff. You will not be sorry. It is awesome, awesome stuff. So check it out. Again, right side of ZenTriathlon.com. Look for the Hornet Juice link. Try 10 for your first try around if you want, and then come back for more. It's really cool stuff. We'll see you there. All right, back to the show. Here we go. All right. It is a couple days after Christmas, leaving the pool, but I'll talk about that in a second. Had a great swim with some cool stuff that happened. But today I was on the trainer on the bike and riding Zwift, Z-W-I-F-T, kicking ass. I'm only about 10 minutes in, and I notice on my phone it says that there's a tornado warning. That's different than a tornado watch. If you grow up in tornado country, you know the difference. Tornado warning means there is a tornado and it is around you. So cover your ass because it's coming. And tornado watch means, hey, watch out. The conditions are prime for a tornado, but there's not one been spotted. Totally different. You can hear it's raining as I'm driving here. I'm going to up the frequency of the windshield wipers a tad bit. But so I'm about 10-something minutes in, and Emily starts yelling at me, get off the bike, come downstairs. We got to hide in a closet. And I'm like, oh, man, I just got started on my workout. And then I thought, this is how you die. You don't want to get off your trainer, because you just started. And then that leaves you out there exposed for a tornado. If you live in tornado country and you don't have a basement, because it's only kind of tornado country where you live, you don't have monstrous ones all the time, then and also our water table is too high where we live to have a basement, and in this part of Texas. So you get in a closet or something like that in a downstairs room in the middle of the house. This is pretty much the best you can do. And also, I got off the bike because of 8 people died in the Dallas area last night. Oh, I'm speeding. I need to slow down. 8 people died. It's probably been all in the news. And the day before, so I guess that was overnight. And the day before yesterday, some other people died in Arkansas, Tennessee, all kinds of crazy stuff. So it's crazy weather right now. And okay, we got your windshield wipers. You're cool. And so I'm like, get off your bike and go check on Emily and Kai. And so I peek my head in the closet, and she's got the dog and the cat. And the cat I'm about to kill because the cat peed on my t-shirts, and I got so mad I lost all my Zen that I had, which was very little. And I'm not gonna have a cat that pees on my stuff, sorry. But anyway, so that was fun this morning. That was a little bit of an adventure. And then I'm trying to get in, I got a whole bunch of days off from work, so I'm trying to get in 2 hours a day at least. So like yesterday, I swam 45 minutes, which hurt really badly in my arm. And I think what's going on is my stabilization muscles, I can't use my arm correctly because it's broken. So I'm overusing some other muscles that I'm not used to using, and that's making them hurt. I'm hydroplaning a little bit here. And so I just, so yesterday hurt a lot. It feels kind of like I'm making it worse, but actually it's the muscles and just reacting, just being tired. And so today I went and swam. I swam 45 minutes, which at first I thought that was an improvement over, from zero, from when I broke my arm. I'm trying to work my way up, like 5 minutes here, 15 minutes there. And then I biked an hour and 15 minutes and had a traumatic issue with my stupid power meter. Had to switch out the battery and stuff. But the total was 2 hours, which was nice. And then today I decided I was going to try to do 2 hours. And so I biked an hour on Zwift, and that's where I had to get off for a few minutes while I was looking out all the windows. Emily's yelling at me from the closet. What are you doing out there? I said, I'm looking for tornadoes. That's always a dumb thing to say. Hold my beer while I look for tornadoes. And then, eventually Kai comes out. Then they canceled the warning, because it had been long enough. And no tornadoes showed up lately today, at my location. But anyway, so I got an hour in on the bike, and then lunch, and then went and swam for an hour. I'm doing this thing where I'm not saying what I'm doing until I've done it, because that's a good way to get yourself in a trap. And the way I'm at right now is, even an hour workout might be risky if something starts hurting. And then you've said publicly, like on Twitter, I'm going to try to swim an hour today. And now you're going to commit, and then you're a failure if you don't. So just don't say it. And then if you do it, then, whoa, the water level's high. Then if you do it, then good. And if not, then you didn't promise you would. So that's what I did, is I swam first and then tweeted, hey, I swam. But on the way to the pool, I drank UCAN. I've still got about half a container, maybe a third of UCAN, which is a slow-releasing starch, which is pretty cool stuff. I definitely could tell I had just even energy, which is really cool. And that was my plan for the workout, nice and even. And I think I might finish off that container and keep doing that for a while. And it takes a little while for you to digest, because it's slow-acting energy, but it's carbs, but it's just slow. So you need to eat it a little bit before you, like 20 minutes, before you plan on needing it. So on your way to your workout is a good time. If it's like an hour workout, have a serving of that. The only problem is stuff is expensive, which I'm not a big fan of. But actually, you don't need all that much of it, which is kind of cool too. And then, what was the other thing? I swam an hour nonstop, and I had 4 amazing things. One was that I swam an hour nonstop. It started to hurt 45 minutes in, which is good. That it took 45 minutes for it to hurt. And then I managed to swim 3,550 yards with a broken arm on the mend, of course. But I'm kind of like flopping my left arm over. So it's mostly that I'm swimming with my right arm. But I noticed this time that I was able to use my left arm every time. Everything I do, I'm using my left arm just the tiniest bit more. And I'm making a mental note, with every change, and I'm trying little things to see how far I can go. So, with flexibility and stuff. I think yesterday was the first day that I got up and started walking around, and then remembered that my arm's broken. Instead of it being on top of my mind, front of my mind all the time, it was kind of like, oh yeah, be careful, my arm's broken. I need to watch out, and starting to let it hang while walking without kind of protecting it with my other arm. And then the other thing was when I was done swimming, I managed to... We need some more windshield wipers here. I managed to do something. What was it? Oh, I managed to put on my deodorant with my left hand into my right armpit with enough force where, to actually apply it without it killing me. Because usually to apply it, you have to twist your hand a certain way, and I can't twist my arm because of the radial bone fracture, and I can't twist my wrist. And this time I was able to twist my wrist just enough to apply it, and also apply enough force for it actually to press into my armpit. And believe me, that's a big advancement for the current situation that I'm in. And then also, I've gone from not being able to touch my face at all to being able to touch my thumb to my nose, to being able to touch my forefinger to my nose, and then maybe middle finger, and now I can touch my pinky to my nose. But I have to stick it up, kind of like an evil, like a Dr. Evil bad guy, like in a James Bond movie. Like, do you remember Blofeld in the old, like maybe it was like Moonraker or something like that, the old James Bond movie with Sean Connery, where he says... where Sean Connery, he's about to chop Sean Connery in half, like through his balls with a laser, and Sean Connery, James Bond goes, "Do you expect me to talk?" And then Blofeld says, "No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die," like that, and then proceeds to almost chop him in half with the laser. It's pretty cool. That's that guy. Like if he stuck his pinky up to take a sip of his drink out of his teacup, out of his evil teacup, his evil hairless teacup that he pets, then he would... that's how I can raise my pinky and touch my nose. It made me think about that. And speaking of that, I realized today that I managed to drink a bottle. I managed to drink out of a water bottle with my left hand by sticking it up to my face and tilting it, kind of like tilting my pinky up, and hold the weight of a water bottle in my hand. When I first hurt myself, I couldn't hold my arm without, like level to the ground, like parallel to the ground. I couldn't hold it bent at the elbow. Just my forearm sticking out without aid from my other arm. The weight of my forearm, the weight of my hand was too much for my arm. And I've slowly worked my way up to, this is how bad off I was. What was it, a few weeks later? Go squirrel, come on, get out of the road. There you go. A few weeks later, I can now hold the weight of a 16-ounce water bottle, probably. I had about 16 ounces of fluid in it when I drank out of it with my left hand, and lift it up to my face and drink out of it. Oh, but I still need my right hand to help me steer with my left. So I'm not quite there yet, which I just had to do. Anyway, that's it. A little update with Project Broken Wing. If I tweet about it, like some sort of progress or some sort of info about my busted up arm, I'm calling it hashtag Broken Wing on Twitter. And that's about it. I'm back in my neighborhood, and I think I'm going to celebrate with a beer. Woo! All right, out. Bang. All right, I'm here in the training cave, the training attic with Kai. How's it going?
Good.
Kai is on Zwift. He's actually on the video game, riding as me, but we're weight doping. We set it to his weight, so he weighs 90 pounds. And we hooked up his road bike to the Kurt Kinetic trainer, and Zwift will recognize it, and then it's estimating how many watts he's putting out. So pedal along like you were earlier, where you got up to 19 miles an hour. So he was pedaling along pretty good, hit 19. Let's see what that is. Looks like it's about 90 watts when you do that at 90 pounds. And we've got the screen changed so he can see himself riding. And what kind of bike are you on?
I can't tell. Try bike.
Yeah, what kind of wheels?
Zip?
Yeah, look at those. You got arrow wheels. And is it day or night?
Night.
You got a night light on the back?
Yeah.
A blinky? Right? And oh, you're going into a turn. Watch out. So this is pretty cool, huh?
Uh-huh.
Why are you dying, dude?
Because I went on that sprint.
Because somebody tried to beat you?
Yeah.
So for speed, it's a Kurt Kinetic trainer, and then he's got a Garmin speed sensor on his bike with the magnet on the rear wheel that is estimating how much speed he's putting out. And so Zwift takes his speed and then the brand of trainer and his weight and estimates watts. And it's nice, dude. You're cruising along at 16 miles per hour right now, right? And oh, that dude's passing you, man. Look. So this is a really... Oh, wow. Kai's speeding up. Let's change your view. Hold on. There you go. And I showed him how he can, like, shout at people and stuff like that. Jay Bockham from Canada. You just got passed by Kai. You got passed by an 11-year-old. Oh, wait, he's coming back. No, wait, who's that? That's him, man.
That's not him.
That is him, dude. He's trying to... Jay Bockham. Oh,
I'm
dude.
done.
You're done. You're going to get passed. Yep. You got passed back, dude.
I don't care.
Is it over?
Yes.
Anyway, Kai's been wanting to do this for a while, so we set him up. It's pretty cool. When did you put out 322 watts? When did that happen?
Yes, now.
Nah, I don't know about that. Anyway, that was pretty cool, man. All right, I'm gonna go finish my my lunch and come back and see if you picked it back up again. It'll start back up again if you start paddling again. Oh, look, he's broken a sweat. Look at that. You're sweating. Wow. What a great day this is.
What do you mean?
You rode the trainer for real at 11 years old and broke a sweat. That's pretty cool. On your own. Instead of like a try practice or whatever. See? You can come up here and do this anytime you want. Pretty cool? All right. I'll leave you alone. Just wanted to share that with everybody. It's pretty cool. Right. I am leaving the pool from the Tyler downtown area at the hospital. They have a Tyler, Texas. That's where I'm at. They have a rehab center with a 3-lane saline pool, and I knocked out my first 2.4 mile swim. I was so excited I even tweeted it. First 2.4 mile swim at it took me about an hour and 15 minutes, but I was just cruising along just easy, having a good old time. And there's people needing rehab around me, you know, like overweight people, slow people, people with injuries. Guy in the locker room was bragging about how he flew a plane into some trees, and now his feet are smashed because the rudder pedals were up at his face after he crashed. Old dudes in the locker room are really weird. And then on top of that, and I'm destined to be one someday, and on top of that, they tend to not wear any kind of lower half garments whatsoever, so they walk around with their junk hanging out. I think it's a method of intimidation. You dare look at them, and because you won't, it's like a stare down, and that's how they show dominance or something. But anyway, I noticed, I haven't swam in a couple days. I took a break from Zwift because Zwift was so freaking crazy with how well it works you out. I was on it the other day, just riding along, and I was about to wrap up my ride of just cruising along, just easy, having a nice ride, keeping things mellow. And towards the end, I was like, yeah, man, I feel pretty good. I could do something extra, I guess, but I didn't really have any motive, no reason to. And then all of a sudden, this pack of like 20 cyclists on Zwift go the other way. There's roadkill in the road here with giant turkey buzzards hanging around it. What was I saying? Squirrel moment. Literally, big squirrel or something in the road. And this pack goes the other way, so you can U-turn by hitting the down arrow on your keyboard, or there's an option on your phone. And so I reversed directions and hammered it for like 5 minutes trying to chase this group down and catch them and then pass them. And as soon as I passed them, then I stopped. You stop pedaling and you get off the bike. It's pretty fun on Zwift. And also they had New Year's add-ons to the game where you can, you had no option. You're wearing like the stupid New Year's party hat, Happy New Year party hat, and then also instead of drinking water bottles, every once in a while your character reaches down and takes a drink out of a water bottle. He's taking a drink out of a champagne glass, which is pretty funny. And then, what was the other thing? Oh, they added this huge new segment. Well, it's not huge compared to everything else, but a nice new segment that's a few miles long that goes underwater in a tube, like an aquarium, and there's whales, and what else is there? Manta rays and dolphins, and the whale actually sings, and whale songs, not Michigan J. Frog. But the and gravel road section, and you can pick which direction you want to go by hitting your keyboard, and man, it's really, really nice. And on the Facebook group, I said something like, somebody said, man, I wish there was easier ways to turn left or right instead of trying to reach way over and hit my keyboard. And I said, well, someday, if they're smart, the Zwift will add the option to use the gyroscope in your iPhone or whatever you use, and you tilt the phone, and that, as you go into a turn option, and that turns you left or right, and then you're done. And they Facebooked back. I don't know what you call it on Facebook. Yep, smiley face. Sure would be cool when that happens. Smiley face, wink, wink, kind of like that. So hopefully they'll do that someday. Anyway, I want to tell you about three different things. So swimming, I had taken a couple days off. It's been really nice because I'm looking for my turn up here. These Texas towns with no zoning, and it's just a jumbled mess of just crap everywhere. Can't figure out where to turn. You got fresh grass, sod for sale, used car lot, and a strip club, and then somebody's house. It's like, that's nice. But anyway, the thing is, I noticed swimming, every day I can do something additional. Like today, I realized when I got out of the pool that I don't remember struggling getting into the pool, getting my goggles on. I'm like, what happened? Because usually I struggle getting my goggles on, getting into the pool with my broken ass arm. And the thing is I just got in, and I was like, what did I do? So after I got out, I was like, let me try this again, and I put on my goggles and was able to do it with a little bit of pain, but nothing much. And I was like, well, that's new. That's great. Because a lot of times I have to use my right hand, and like, oh man, my left hand's just a mess. It's all over the place. It hurts really, really bad. Which, by the way, my arm just cracked last night when I pushed a blanket off of me. that sucked. And then, what was the other thing? I was like, I could wash my face with both hands. I could twist my hand enough to get the palm of my hand and my fingers to wash my face. And I'm like, well, what can't I do? And I still can't wash the crack of my ass with my left hand, which I'm sure you needed to know. And well, those are weird apartments. Where'd that come from? I think I've seen that before at somebody's house. And let's see. I wanted to talk about, well, there's a couple things. So, you know, like, it's always excuses of not to go work out because you can't do this, can't do that, right? So I got off my ass and found a pool that was open. And it was hard to find a pool, and I had to make some phone calls. But it's worth it, man. I got in my first 2.4-mile swim since I hurt myself. So how about that? That's pretty cool. And so I got that accomplishment under my belt out of not giving up and no excuses, like trying to go for it. And let's see, yesterday I ate at a place called Zoe's, which had an awesome quinoa salad. And two foods I've been working on is the McDougall author guy, doctor, is just a staunch advocate of the starch diet, the starch solution, you know, because everything's got to be catchy. Well, how are you going to remember, man? How are you going to remember what to do unless somebody makes it rhyme? It's not like you're a grown-up or anything. All right, so the starch solution is that we eat starches. We have historically ate starches like potatoes and rice, you know, for bazillion years. That's a technical term. And hold on, it's potholy. Let me see if I can take this corner steering with my left hand. Kinda. Not bad. Still needs a little bit of work. I had to hold the steering wheel with my leg a little bit. And boy, that was a huge tree that fell down. Holy crap. It's Big Piney Woods, East Texas, where I'm at Tyler, Texas for New Year's. Emily's family. And couldn't bring the bike. Only going to swim once. Just taking a break from training because the letting the arm and the toes heal, and the Zwift was freaking wearing me out, man, because it's so awesome because of these other people on there that you're like, hey, you can't pass me. But anyway, the McDougall starch solution is really interesting because I'm going to park right here for a second and talk before we get to the house so people don't come running out and interrupt. And the whole starch thing, if starches are a very slow acting bamboo, look at that, are a very slow acting carb, you know, kind of like UCAN powder is resistant starch, right? Well, the potato is like the most satiating food on earth that lasts the longest, and everybody's different, right? So you can try different things, kind of see what works for you. And I've kind of dabbled in this before with eating potatoes and liked it, just kind of fell off of it. Potatoes and rice, but mostly it's like potatoes are the easiest, man. Take a potato, poke some holes in it with a fork so it doesn't explode, apparently. Throw it in the microwave, 5 minutes for a big potato, and you work your way on down there, the smaller the potato. And they keep you from getting hungry, man, and you just feel happy and nice. And it's kind of like I was sitting there swimming going, well, potatoes, if you feel this good eating potatoes, if potatoes are wrong, then I don't want to be right, man, because they're so good. And the guy that won Ultraman this year mixed in potatoes with his fuel, you know, to fill up his stomach. Because you've kind of, even if you eat tons of calories with simple sugars, your stomach starts getting kind of wonky, and it feels nice to eat something. And he said anything long, he mixes in potatoes. So I might start trying that on my longer rides if I can ever get out on the bike, because my buddy Gary was like, hey, let's go for a bike ride. And I said, I can't ride outside, I'll crash. And if I crash, I will freaking die of pain if I take one more hit to my arm of any kind. Is that a vineyard? What the hell is wrong with these? What is up with these people, man? I better lock my doors too. I don't know if I'm going to get carjacked out here in the country. People sell my kidneys for moonshine or something. But anyway, man, I'm itchy from this pool, saline pool. Shouldn't it? Should it? I sat in the jacuzzi when I was done. I haven't done that in a long time. Oh, man, it almost knocked me out. It felt so good. Oh, the pool was too hot, because it's an old person, typically old person, injury recovery pool, which is fine. I mean, we need those, right? But for lap swimming, I had to take off my swim cap immediately because it was warm and just started cooking in that thing. You want to swim hard and swim good laps, man. You need a pool that's a little bit cooler than 185 degrees. Take your age, add 100 degrees, and that's the temperature the pool ought to be for therapy. And anyway, the potato was pretty cool because, like, I got up this morning, and potatoes are cheap, man. And if you cook a potato and you let it chill and get cold, guess what it turns into? Resistant starch. So you're paying all this money for UCAN, right? When you could bake a potato today, throw it in the fridge, and then that's your fuel for tomorrow. Just saying. I'm not here to disrupt the whole workout industry and fueling industry, but just saying. Think about it. Anyway, I got up this morning, and of course I'm at somebody else's house, and breakfast is, just tons of eggs and sausage and eggs and sausage and eggs and sausage mixed in with your eggs and Cinnabons, And I'm like, oh my God. Hey, do you have any potatoes? Because I thought I saw some potatoes. Can I have one of these potatoes? Yeah, sure, go ahead. Boom. Microwave, 5 minutes. Bam, potato. Got Amrita bars. Discount code ZEN2016. Discount code ZEN2016. Amrita Health Foods. Amrita Health Foods. I don't know, I'm in my car.com. And get yourself some Amrita bars. Amrita's Nectar of the Gods and Pali, I believe. Anyway. And a little bit of cashews. But anyway, the potato is huge, right? So I get my stuff ready for to go swim, and by that time, potato's done, and actually it's cooled off just a little bit. I cut it in half. I put the second half in a Ziploc, throw it in the refrigerator, and then I ask Emily's mom, hey, well, no, I asked her for the Ziploc. That's what I did. Anyway, then I start walking around eating a potato, a little bit of steam coming off the top of it, half a potato, just holding it by the skin. Eat the skin, man. The skin's got like all these vitamins and stuff in it. It's got the dirt. God made dirt, so dirt don't hurt. And just eating the potato while getting the rest of my stuff together, and then walking out the door, eating the rest of the potato like it's a cup. And driving, eating the rest of the potato, but it's only half a potato to start with, right? I get to the pool and I swam for an hour and 15 minutes. Never felt like I needed any kind of fuel, nothing. And it's that long-lasting starch in a potato. So check it out. There's another guy that lost all his weight. It's all awesome and stuff like that. He's kind of funny. I like him. He's always staring at the camera and blinking at it like it's attacking him. PotatoStrong.com is the guy. And lots of us can definitely relate to him. He's middle-aged, was like, this sucks. This fat belly sucks. And he started trying the potato stuff, and it was like, holy crap, this really works. And let's see, ashwagandha. So I was listening to the Ben Greenfield podcast, which sometimes I can't stand it, but I listen to it anyway because sometimes there's some good stuff in there. And I'm sure like y'all listen to this. And, sometimes I can't stand getting into a cold pool, but I do it anyway because it's good for you. So there was a mention of ashwagandha as being a huge workout, almost like steroids. Your body reacts to it, puts on muscle and strength and like all kinds of great stuff. But it's an herb, which is a drug, but still it's just a plant. Just go check it out and try it. See if you like it. Maybe not. And I've been on it. Been taking 2 or 3 pills a day. You just go buy it at the health food store and find out a little bit more yourself, like 400 milligrams, 450 milligrams. It's just a little pill. And I think it totally depends on the person. If you need it, you'll notice it. And maybe it might not work on you, just like different things, don't work on different people differently. But it's kind of like I needed to take it for about a day to really notice it, and then boom, nice mood, you feel good, things are a little bit funnier. One reason I go work out all the time is because I get kind of depressed and mopey, like what the hell am I doing, this is boring as hell, let's go do something, and this takes the edge off of that, and I just noticed like opening Christmas presents and like because we had a late Christmas coming here for New Year's, and just being myself and doing Brett things. Was in a great mood, having a lot of fun, and nice. I haven't really noticed any workout benefits from it yet, but that's because I haven't really worked out all that much, like seriously hard, and I can't because I got broken toes and a broken arm. But dude, I couldn't even walk across the shopping mall parking lot for like an eighth of a mile before my toes started feeling like they were being ripped off my foot from the pain from walking too far with broken toes. But anyway, the ashwagandha, ashwagandha, that's it, ashwagandha, and it's nice. It's really, really cool. And I'm no doctor, but I do play one on the internet, and it might be something you might want to check out. But of course, always be really careful with this stuff. You take a little bit, anything you've never eaten or drank before, take a sip, and then wait a couple hours and make sure you're not allergic to it, because if it's something you've never had before, you could be allergic to it. You pile it on and then your freaking face blows off. But then take it and kind of see what happens. And one thing I've noticed is I don't crave it, so it doesn't seem to be addictive at all. And it also smells like horses for some reason. And that's where the name comes from, is ashwa. Maybe, horse or something. Gandha means wind or something like that. Horse breath. Or like horses ran by and the wind off the horses kind of made you go, whoa. But long-term effects, I don't know, except that it's been used in India for 2,000 years, and they seem to all be alive and reproducing like crazy. So you might be all right. All right, that's it. I will be back in a little bit with more and wrap this sucker up. Out, bang. All right, let's go ahead and wrap up this show. I was just cruising through Slow Twitch and saw a thread in there about why you shouldn't swim for an hour. It is of no use whatsoever. I might cover in the next episode exactly why you should be swimming for an hour nonstop and how to use it to make you a much better long-distance swimmer. But that will be for another episode. Let's go ahead and wrap this one up with a little mention for Chris Haig Racing. Chris Haig is a friend of mine. He's an awesome triathlon coach. I like to always give him a shout out and let you know that I definitely support him as a possible triathlon coach for you. Go check him out. You can go to chrishaigracing.com, Hague for Hague, like The Hague. Chris Haig, Chris, haigracing.com. And he's got a nice little website where you can sign up. Super knowledgeable, smart, enthusiastic guy that ran track in college and has outdone me in a half Ironman for sure, and also just an all-around great guy. So check him out, chrishaigracing.com. All right, everybody, I want you to enjoy your break from the triathlon season if you're in the northern hemisphere, but don't take off too much time, because you got to remember triathlon is a winter sport where you pick the ripened fruit in the summer. So stay safe out there, work the uphills, cruise the downhills, and keep the rubber side down. Out.